I may have to make a change. It is 5:45. I'm Danny Bonaduce. This is KZOK. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Happy day before your birthday party.
Thank you. It's a very important day in my life, the day before my birthday party.
Yeah.
This is when you get excited, though. This is the anticipation. And
Yeah, I'm trying to actually kind of quell that. To be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, live broadcast, a bunch of people come down. If there are any, friends of mine, they're drunk and stupid. So, somebody's got to be in charge of that. So no, I'm super excited, but I don't want it to get away from me. Like sometimes when I think about it, my heart starts racing. If it wasn't clear, we're talking about the live broadcast for my birthday. Happens tomorrow at Chandler's Crab House, correct?
That's right, 5:30 to 9:30. You can be there for part of it or the whole thing. Just RSVP. KZOK.com/Danny's birthday.
All righty. And now Scott Vanderpool was here again this morning.
Yeah.
You guys know Scott Vanderpool from all sorts of stuff. I don't even know what to say you do for a living.
All nights?
All of it. He does
He's
all
on the
of
night
it.
shift, yeah.
Yeah, but doesn't he have a desk somewhere? I don't have a desk.
He does, yeah. He does all kinds of
Who the hell's
paperwork and
Vanderpool?
stuff.
Why does he have a desk? I can't get a desk.
well, he's going to hold down the fort tomorrow, which
That's
is
true.
very nice
Which
of him.
explain why he's here doing weird drum movements at 5 o'clock in the morning. You're a drummer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're in a band?
About 3 of them.
3 bands. Well, I was going to say name it, but now it's like the Declaration of Independence. Scott Vanderpool's in a bunch of bands. Also, the lovely young lady that does overnights or late nights, whatever you call it these days, Amanda is here. And now, what are you doing during the broadcast?
I'm helping fill in for Derek.
Oh, there's no filling in for Derek. And you haven't lived till Derek's filled in for you.
Oh, good to know.
I thought that was really cool. Double entendre.
That sounds super dirty. And
That's what I meant it to sound like, but I couldn't get in trouble because it's your fault for being dirty. So I said I have to make a change this morning.
Yeah, don't change. We like you just the way you are, Danny.
Well, I'm trying to learn to play guitar so I can go out to bars and stuff and entertain and have a ton of fun. And I practice hard. I'm terrible, but that's okay. I'm a middle-aged man with a brand new hobby. I practice hard enough that if I'm ever going to do this, I will get to it.
But Danny, everybody's terrible when they first start. Don't think this is you.
Yeah, that's true, except I started in 1970. Where a paid professional that was paid to make me at least look like I knew how to play guitar, which obviously did not work. So, yeah, I got the same, what they call them the cowboy chords or the open chords. They're fairly easy, and together, and I play them okay, but together, they're supposed to make a song. They don't do that. So I have a lesson after today's show. I brought my guitar with me, my full-size, big, regular guitar, not that little miniature one I brought here before.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'm just going to bring it up to the station. I'll show the guys my cool guitar. Maybe even during a break or something, I'll play a little ditty. You don't know what I might do.
That'd be great.
I'm a rebel that way. And then so I parked in my parking space about 1,000 feet from here.
Yeah.
And reached in the car to get a heavy guitar out and said, I am not carrying that thing. So now I think, it's my goal to be a traveling musician. I think this would be fun to do in Paris or Italy or something. Like my dreams are open. I can get a job at a coffee shop because I see Vanderpool scoffing and who I will kick in his 6'6" balls.
I think he knows that maybe the making a living on music is not that easy.
No making living. I have a pension, Mr. Man, that's been going on since 1964.
Right.
It ain't rich, but it's okay. Yeah. If I decide to play in a coffee shop for tips and I don't get any tips, I will still eat that night. But here's the thing about saying London. Wouldn't that be fun? I'd go and you think you can go play in London, you're not even good. Partridge Family, huge hit in England. Everybody, half the people over there grew up with me. So if I suck, they'll still go, hey, that's the guy from TV that sucks. I remember him sucking when he was a little kid, and now he sucks even bigger. Let's put a pound in his cup.
Plus, you need a guitar tech because clearly if you can't take the guitar all the way out of your car in the parking garage, you can't take it all the way to London.
You're going to need a roadie.
Somebody's got to lug your gear
That
around.
has totally occurred to me. I don't know how to do it without looking like a terrible maniac because what am I going to do, give him my tips? What if I get no tips? I don't even know if I should ask for tips. That was the thing I was asking Paul about that. Is it too weird?
No, you got to put your hat out there or the guitar case out there.
It's not real unless you're playing for tips. It's not a real. If I'm just sitting there, then I'm just terrible. But if I have my guitar case open and some wacky kind of phrase in it.
And if you're really bad and you're not asking for tips, they're going to blame the coffee shop or wherever you're at. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they booked this guy.
And there's really no if about that. I've had lessons off and on for 40 years. Never hunkered down like I'm doing right now. But if I'm not playing Folsom Prison Blues or Pink Cadillac, I'm completely out of music, and I've been playing for 3 years now.
Are you playing every day, though? For a while, you were
single day.
So diligent about practice.
Every single day, a certain amount of time a day. When I'm trying to learn, I was trying to learn Knocking on Heaven's Door, and I decided I'm going to play that 100 times in a row. That's exactly what I did. I put marks after I played it till it got up to 100. And I thought, never do that again because it's stupid. Just practice a little while.
But by 20, 30 times in, you've got it, right?
No, but by 2030, I should be able to play.
How's Ripple coming along?
Not well at all, thank you for asking. Ripple by Grateful Dead. Yeah, it's not, well, it's a weird song. It goes one way and then it goes another way and then it goes another way. You know, there's a chance Jerry Garcia was on drugs. I'm not positive. I'm not making accusations.
Possibility.
So we were talking about this place, Flat Stick Pub.
Yeah. Their new one just opened. Did you go?
Yeah, went there yesterday.
That's the mini golf
fun,
place?
but I'm concerned, same way I'm concerned with Art Marble. It couldn't be more empty in there.
What time did you go?
Well, you have to get a tea time. So
Yeah?
I know exactly what time I went. I went at noon.
I'm going to guess that's probably why. Noon in the middle of the week.
It's
And-
lunchtime. Every other thing around there was packed.
Yeah, there's no food served at Flat Stick, though.
Huh, do you just make these things up?
As far as
Pizzas, large pizza.
wow.
Oh, the one that I went to did not have food.
Not just a full bar, two full bar. And
Well,
you
there
could
should
see,
be people in there.
You could see one from the other, too. They're like, I don't even know why you'd put the expensive. Another nice full bar stocked, mirrors the whole, wet bar-ish kind of thing.
Yeah.
You get bartenders and stuff like that.
Right.
You can see, you could throw a golf ball rather easily from one to the other.
It's so you don't have to wait in line behind the other people that aren't there.
Well, I didn't I didn't fully understand what they wanted you to do. Like when you walked in, I had a tea time. And then so they told me the rules, which I said, there are rules? They said, you can call it whatever you want, man. It's miniature golf. And he looked like he just hated me. And so we learned the rules. We went and played, and it was very fun. And they also have a shuffleboard, shuffleboard?
Yeah.
The table or the one on the floor?
Neither.
Okay.
It's miniature golf based on shuffleboards. The tables are actually still miniature golf. They're just tiny. And you
Okay.
do it with one little stick, and you only get one hit. And they go, hey, why don't you try this? And why don't you have your drink? And I think, oh, is all this stuff paid for? No. I got to leave. I owe $900. But
Well, that's how they're going to stay in business. Is they don't need a lot of people because they just keep charging you.
I hope it picks up because it's really fun. My kids are going to come visit again soon. Excuse me. And that'd be a fun place to go and take them and have them be that way.
The one I went to was in Pioneer Square, and they had like a taco place sort of attached, but on the outside. Same thing, though, 2 bars. It was packed to the gills.
Yeah.
And people showed up and wanted to play, and they said, well, do you have a tea time? They're like, no, you get out. Bar when you walk in for the people who aren't playing, and then there's a bar on the mini golf side for all the people playing mini golf. And then it was like backed up. People were like, move faster.
Wow.
You need to make your putt.
Can I
Whatever.
play through?
Yeah, whatever you yell at people playing mini
4?
golf.
I like my place better.
Yeah, your place sounds awesome.
Yeah, my place sounds the way to go. Anyway, it was a lot of fun.
Good.
And my only downside to all of yesterday, one, I got in an Uber yesterday to go play these games and fool around. And the guy said to me, how you doing? And I said, good. How are you? And he goes, great. Why are you better than me? What kind of day is this guy having that everything's so good? Hey, how you doing there, paying customer? I'm good, thank you. How are you, guy that I'm paying? Great.
Well, that's why he's great money off this transaction.
He is. And apparently yesterday was a huge day. I asked, and I always ask.
Yeah.
Because I'm just curious as hell if things go belly up again. I'd do that. I'd be an Uber driver, but they have to let you drive around in a face mask, and I don't think that would make my customers as happy. Nothing can make my customers as happy as this. You know what I'll do?
What?
I'll wear a mask and play guitar while driving with my foot.
A wildfire in central Washington has swelled nearly 50% in size, and more firefighting crews are headed to the area today amid fears that the change of weather could actually cause the blaze to explode by the week's end. This one's called the Cougar Creek Fire. It grew from about 6,100 acres on Tuesday to 9,200 acres by yesterday. Massive evacuations, and hundreds of structures are at risk. They said it actually could have been worse, but crews were able to make some progress earlier in the week. What the concern is temperatures continue to just be so high.
That's one of the many concerns. I got to tell you, I'm a terrible and shallow person. And if I can't see it, you want to tell me about it. It's not as bad as if I can see it. If you're on the news crying, my house burned down, I have nothing, I feel terrible for you. But if you're just showing a fire from space, well, this is weird. I hope our fire guys and gals go put that out. But I'll tell you, what's bugging me is the air quality.
Yeah.
I do not like being able to see the air that I breathe. That's really weird.
It shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't be that way.
hazy.
And it smells like something decent is cooking. And then I realize, it's Federal Way.
That's the worst part is when you get a little happy about it.
Yeah.
Like, that smells like a campfire or
Turns out it's
barbecue.
Papa Dave cooking.
And it was making Sarah cough during Led Zeppelin.
I heard
That's
that.
right, yeah. It's air quality.
Crews are using 4 aircraft, 28 engines, 12 bulldozers in their battle against the blaze that's mostly burning in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. They say it is 0% contained presently. Now, I did hear Tori talking about the weather when the show first started. Tori, did you say that the weather is cooling down Friday or Saturday?
Saturday, there should be partly cloudy skies and rain showers.
That's
Rain
fantastic
showers.
news. You never really want to hear that in summertime in Washington, but for our fires, that's going to be fantastic.
I mean, we need
news.
it just for a break anyway. Like, I don't want to be the guy who says, man, it's too hot around here, but...
Well, then you're that guy. Don't be that guy. Oh, I need more rain. No, don't be that guy. It can rain specifically on a fire and maybe a fire guy. That's it. No more rain. What are you, Seattle?
Deputies are investigating another arson at a Kingdom Hall church in Thurston County. This time this was what is it, our 5th?
Yeah.
I don't know why I said ours, like we're part of the Kingdom Hall, but in
But it's
Western
here, right?
Washington.
Yeah, that's us. And my money's on they know who it is.
Well,
If there's
they're
a
asking
guy
any
I hate-
witnesses to come forward.
An ex-Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
And we kick him out and we're mean to him, and then our churches start catching fire.
Oh, maybe they haven't figured it out yet. They haven't, narrowed it down yet, but it's someone that's known to them?
Yes, that's what I said. Plus, there's a very clear picture of him.
Yeah, they have a
That-
picture
that should help.
of him pouring liquid on...
And catching fire.
Right, yeah.
Always a good criminal. Set yourself on fire.
Yesterday around 7:30, church elders at Kingdom Hall on Vale Road Southeast arrived to find smoldering fire logs stacked up alongside an outside wall. They were able to quickly douse those logs. The fire damage was minimal, but they said they found something that looked like a potential explosive device on the ground and called for help.
Yeah.
The bomb squad arrived, the ATF, the FBI, and they determined after hours of investigation that the device was fake but designed to look real. So they're processing the evidence, and they don't have a video of this particular one. So if this brings it to 5 in total. There is under the assumption it's the same person.
Things have gotten so sophisticated in my day, a fake bomb that somebody would leave outside would be 4 road flares wrapped up in speaker wire there.
Exactly.
How about some?
The actual arson portion of this last one, though, seems pretty amateurish. Not that I want him to get better, but he's done a string of these, and now the last one is he threw a couple of Duraflame logs that he bought at the grocery store in.
Well, they're like I said, they're assuming it's the same person. It isn't necessarily the same person. And if they don't have evidence, there's no physical evidence at this point. How are they going to tie them all together? So that's why they're asking for the public's help. How about some good news in the news?
Love that.
In celebration of 50 years of National Scenic Trails, REI announced they are investing a total of $643,000 to 17 nonprofit organizations dedicated to the stewarding and maintenance of our country's 11 national scenic trails.
I didn't know we even had 11. I can think of 2. What are they?
Like
In the country?
Yeah, I don't know them.
that are national trails? I could think of maybe 2. The Pacific Crest Trail and like the Appalachian, Trail.
Right.
Those are 2 of the ones that they are putting a lot of money towards. The Continental Divide Trail is another one. The National Scenic
I
Trails
think that one's in the middle somewhere.
It is. John Belushi did a terrible movie about it.
The National Scenic Trails are extended paths of more than 100 miles that in length. The ones that when I was growing up, we used to go to the ones in Acadia National Park in Maine, and they're just the views are outstanding. But a lot of people complain when you go to the national parks, like, oh my God, I can't believe it's $25 to get in. Well, who do you think is maintaining this?
Well, now REI is, so I don't have to pay my $25, right?
No, but I mean, that's not my thing. I don't spend that much time in national parks, but I was in Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
And they charged me like $25, and I was just going in to get a picture with the U2 tree. And I thought, I'm getting ripped off here. But the second you go in, you first you go, ooh, it's beautiful. That's the first thing you do.
You
The
say it
second
just
thing you
like
do
that.
is you think, well, this costs somebody a fortune because it's
Sure.
not. It's it's not keeping itself clean. It's
Exactly.
not manning the drinking fountains, the store, whatever it is.
Well, REI has supported these efforts for nearly 2 decades, and it makes sense. That's where their bread and butter is, people getting outdoors and enjoying nature.
That's
And
close. Their bread and butter is people thinking they're going to get out in nature. Go and buy a bunch of crap, and then life happens to them.
Exactly.
I've had that happen 100 times. I'm going to go do this thing. I need a bunch of it. If you clean my garage, and you should really, Paul. If you clean out
stop
my
by.
garage, you'll find fishing equipment for 10 families. Just that, I'm going. This time I'm going to go with Matt. We're going to go fishing for. And we actually did once.
You
Remember
did.
that? We found a hypodermic needle. That was fun in Philadelphia.
Big catch.
But yeah, I always go in and rebuy, and then turns out I don't need it.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing they make the money off is buying the second, third, fourth time because
regret,
you don't
yeah.
know where you put it.
And I just give everything to Play It Again Sports when I'm done, and they give me almost nothing for it.
When the news out of Mexico is bad, turns out it's also bad news for the airlines here in the USA. Several airlines announced during quarterly earnings calls over the past 2 weeks they are scaling back flights to Mexico based on low customer demand due to many reports of violence. In July, Mexico has seen a 16% rise in murders for the first half of the year.
That should be good for the airlines. There's fewer return flights, that they have to do.
Oh, Paul.
No. Hey, if you had
You
said
taking the
it.
shot? If I'd have said it, it would have been funny.
16% rise in murders, which is
Maybe not.
breaking the country's already high records for homicides.
But are
And
they killing Americans?
they are killing Americans. And the other part
Well,
of the
don't do
problem,
that.
there's been a rash of,
Oh, I've had that there. You go to Tijuana, get that rash, have to explain it to somebody who might be married to at that time.
in the resorts, a lot of people have been reporting somebody is tainting their drinks.
Well, don't put that in it. It'll never be the same if you taint it.
A lot of people have gotten sick. I think one person also died from.
Wasn't that bad? Like moonshine liquor, they faked it out and put it in real good. Put the just stuff they boiled in their bathtubs into Kettle One bottles and stuff.
Yeah. So you're going to a resort. You're like, great, this is a bottle of Kettle One. Everything's super. No. And there's also problems of people
With
putting
their taints.
like not roofing, but like that,
Yeah.
putting stuff in drinks, bad things happening. So a lot of people here in America are like, okay, maybe we're not going to go to Mexico for vacation. Maybe we'll go to Hawaii. Maybe we'll go to the Caribbean.
I'm sorry to hear. I just love it down in Mexico. I have the best time every time I'm there.
Yeah, so they are concerned. Spirit, American, United, Delta. I haven't heard a response yet from Alaska Airlines, but they're scaling back, saying they are starting to lose serious money because people just aren't going.
Do what I do and take El Chapo Airlines. It's not as much service oriented as it used to be, but it's cheap.
Text that word to 200 right now for your chance to win. KZOK.com for all the rules and details.
Dairy Queen, DQ.
Yeah.
The owner of a DQ in Calgary is seeking a sniffing sleuth to help him find the source of a mysterious foul smell that has been plaguing the business for years.
It's a burger, man.
It's a burger?
It's a burger. Somebody dropped some meat someplace.
Well, he says it smells like gas. You know
that's
how is it natural gas that smells like rotten eggs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says it kind of smells like that. Sometimes it kind of smells like propane, that hydrogen sulfide kind of thing. And the gas companies come out. He's had some gas experts come out, and they're like, we can't find a leak.
You know, I will tell you this, and I learned this recently, and I guess it's a thing everybody knew, but I had no idea. You know that bad smell in natural gas?
Yeah.
It's an additive.
So
It's
that
not what it smells like.
so that you know there's a gas leak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that makes total
why
sense.
not make it smell better?
Because
Well-
then you'll enjoy the scent and
But you'll still know this is killing me, although I have sniffed some things that were bad for me.
Yeah,
right
right.
there.
When you go to Iceland, well, I guess I'm talking to everybody but Danny because you'll never go to Iceland.
I swear to God, Amy was talking to me about Reykjavik.
Reykjavik.
Yeah.
Yeah, last night.
supposed to be beautiful.
It's
so what? A lot of places. Washington's
fantastic.
beautiful. Shut up.
It's so much fun, and the flight is really short.
Can you see the northern lights from there or just
Heck
here
yeah.
in
Yeah,
Seattle is
yeah,
where you
yeah,
see
yeah.
it?
You can see the northern lights, but you have to go in wintertime or fall. But when you
Which
go,
is always
In
No, in the
Iceland?
summertime, it's 24 hours of daylight.
Where it's still 1 degree.
No, it's like 40.
Well, summer, here we come.
I'm against it.
Planning my next beach vacation to Iceland.
But the water all coming out of the taps smells like sulfur. And it's actual like from
Right. The hot
earth.
springs and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. And the other weird thing about Iceland, off topic, but they don't have to heat the water. The water goes directly into the earth and it comes out boiling hot.
Yeah. I read something about that, or I saw something about that on TV, and I thought, I'm hearing that wrong. Your water can't come to you straight from the dirt. You'll get sick and you'll die. But they must do something on its way up.
Well, so it could potentially be water. It could be gas. This Dairy Queen does not know where the smell is coming from. So this dude who runs it says, if you can figure it out, I will give you free Dairy Queen for a year. So you can come in and get a free Blizzard every single week or every day, whatever you want, come in. But please find the pungent smell in my DQ.
You know what I smell?
What?
I smell shenanigans.
Yeah,
You
you think
do?
he made the smell himself?
I'm not sure what it is, but
Repressed?
none of this hurts him. None of this having
He
people
says he
come in and
loses
sniff.
customers.
I think having a stinky restaurant hurts him.
I didn't smell it. All I hear is a guy saying, "Oh no, come on in, sniff around, free stuff." Then I hear the news lady in Washington talking about it. I smell shenanigans and rotten eggs.
You smell shenanigans on everything.
I do, and I'm almost always right because it's almost always shenanigans.
Yeah, he says he's been losing customers because if you walk into a restaurant and it smells like gas, are you staying?
No.
No. So he's looking for a super nose. I don't know any super noses.
No, me either.
I know some people who claim to be super tasters, and I don't believe them.
No, me either.
They've got like another special part of their tongue that does magic tricks with food.
Oh, I know her.
Sounds really weird. Easter Island, not a place I've ever been to. Believe it or not, Chastity, our cat whisperer, our cat sitter, Danny.
Yeah.
She just came back from Easter Island. I
Not
guess
just because I want her to start babysitting on Saturday and she can't do it because she's out of the country. How much are we paying the cat sitter who's in Reykjavik and Rome and
Easter
Chandu?
Island?
Yeah, Easter Island.
she just went to Easter Island, and the pictures are just so bizarre because it looks a lot like Hawaii with tropical flowers, and it's beautiful. And
Yeah.
then there's giant noses. One of those giant heads, those giant noses, the 7-foot tall mouse statues, one of them was taken off Easter Island and is in England.
How'd they do it?
Back in the way olden days, explorers used to go pillage.
Oh, sure. I thought you meant like this happened recently.
150 years ago.
Oh,
That's not recent.
well, I still, I know how they did it because I know how the indigenous people to Easter Island kind of killed themselves. I know how they ran out of everything. And it was, to be honest with you, their own fault. They would chop
Chopped
down
the
trees to
trees.
roll those giant heads and stuff till
Yeah.
there was nothing
And
except cat sitters running around your island.
yeah, it hasn't grown back. She said it was pretty barren. It's kind of bizarre. But Easter Island is a territory of Chile, and they are now asking England, give us our giant head back. The 7-foot
What's Chile going to do with it?
Easter Island wants it back. Easter Island is a part of Chile. It's a territory. But so they are the people of Easter Island, and Chile's government are saying, England, give us back the giant head.
Yeah, no,
Doesn't
don't
belong
do
to
it.
you.
Who are they going to fight you? You're England. They're like 8 guys on an island. I don't even know if they have boats.
Do you ever think though, like say you had part of King Tut's tomb, Danny,
Yeah,
and Egypt was like, dude, can you just give it back? You stole it. Would
Right.
you give it back to them? It'd been in your family for years,
yeah,
but you
no,
knew your
no, you don't even have
great-grandparents
to. You
stole
don't
it.
even have to make it sentimental. No, they can't have it. Shut up. I stole it. It's mine. Who are you guys? You should have kept a better eye on it.
And did England steal it, or was it a gift?
No, it was stolen.
Oh.
From what?
Easter Island.
Easter Island.
Who owned it?
Easter Island.
180 years ago?
150 years ago.
And that was
Chile
Chile
owned
then?
it then.
It was
yeah.
I
Chile's.
don't know. Somebody fair and square. It's a big hassle to take that thing 150 years ago. Weighs a lot. Got to get on a boat. Then you got to sail it to England. I say they deserved it.
I think it's going to be like the Brady Bunch episode where one of those pesky kids stole something from Hawaii, and then the whole family was cursed until they took it back.
Greg.
Well, either way.
Just
And
they
then-
don't know. It's Greg Brady. Still the tiki head.
And then does Greg have to take it back and apologize to the shopkeeper? I'm sorry I stole your giant face statue thing.
They say, and Danny, you probably did this. You talked about doing that bike ride down Mount Haleakala.
Yeah.
That if there are signs everywhere, do not take any of the rocks from the very top where you go to watch the sunrise, because that's what happens.
Take only pictures. some other
leave only memories
crap. Or
But a lot
no,
of people
that's
want
not right here.
A lot of people want to take rocks home with them,
Yeah.
and they say you're cursed.
I took something when I was a little kid from the Petrified Forest. I don't even remember where. I think I'll go with Arizona. But I was there with whatever members of my family were speaking that year. And I stole a little thing, and then I started to read about and hear about the curse if you take anything from here until you return it. And I got all scared, but luckily I was a little kid, so my mommy returned it for me.
Oh, nice.
With a note. And it turns out they have thousands of notes. If you go in there, my note might be on the wall with thousands of other notes saying, sorry, my luck turned so bad after I stole.
Wow.
Yeah. A father grieving for his deceased daughter for 30 years just found out he has been grieving at the wrong grave because of a misplaced headstone. George Salt had been mourning his daughter Victoria, going to see her, talking to her.
Right.
And he went one day and there was a different gravestone. He's like, what the heck happened? Turns out his daughter's gravestone had been moved in error to a vacant plot and it had been switched. So they're trying to figure out where's the body of the daughter.
Oh, they don't even know where that is.
It's in it. They had moved that to a vacant plot and somehow switched the headstones. So her headstone was still where he had been grieving.
Right.
It says Becky on there. And he goes to mourn Becky every day. Turns out Becky wasn't buried there. Becky was some over in some vacant lot. They said something happened in the 1980s and we're not sure.
Well, I say that all the time.
Do you think he should get some sort of compensation?
Yeah, but it's not the end of the world, man. I say my prayers in Queen Anne. I don't think it matters where you say your prayers and when you talk to the dearly departed. I think if she could hear you 8 feet away from the right place, she could hear you 50 miles from the right place. I don't know how you talk to dead people because one of the few weird, stupid things I don't do. But I don't think it matters where he did it.
I guess you're like spilling all your secrets and then you find out some other dead person has been listening to you.
Well, now that you put it that way, that's freaky.
But there were dead people all around. They were all hearing you. If you
true.
think
If
one
you're
was
going
hearing
with
you,
that theory, right. I think you're going to go directly to the person you're talking to.
A bungling burglar targeted the home of his ex-girlfriend's mother in a revenge attack. So this dude got broken up with.
Right.
He was mad. And he decided to exact revenge on his girlfriend's mother, or ex-girlfriend's mother. So he breaks into the house, wreaks havoc, decides to destroy a whole bunch of stuff, but then opens the fridge and sees some cheese. He's like, oh yeah, this looks good. Takes a couple bites of cheese, leaves it behind. So how do you think they busted him?
DNA.
On the cheese.
Yep.
It was a cheese crime.
It's a cheese crime, and they got, I thought that they knew that this was coming. The way we were talking, I knew this had an interesting ending. I thought they poisoned him. And that the cheese was poisoned. Because if you remember, I had a neighbor kid that always used to break into my car and steal all my drugs. So I put a vial with some white powder in it that may have been rat poison, I won't tell you. And when everyone's pulled up to this kid's house, all of 16 years old, I went, oh man, don't die.
It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida. Story of the day.
Yay!
Some things are not right here in the studio.
With that kid Dennis, I can't remember his real last name because I called him Lubners.
Do you think was he still with us after that?
The next day he got a little sick to his tummy or something. I don't even know. I'm not that positive the ambulance was for him. It just seems likely.
In Florida, things are certainly not right. A man was shocked by more than 7,000 volts of electricity when he scaled a building and attempted to walk on a Florida power and light pole in downtown West Palm Beach. When police arrived, they found the guy. It turns out he had been training for parkour and thought, boy, wouldn't it be great if I could just parkour off of these light poles. So he had climbed up a metal pole.
These electrified light poles? Yeah.
Which, don't you normally hear them? They kind of sizzle a little bit.
Buzz.
Sure.
But I think generally that's only if something's already touching them. Like if something's touching the wire, then they give off a buzz.
I wouldn't know, but I can hear electricity often. So.
Yeah. Well, the victim attempted to walk on the FLP power pole, and during the attempt, he touched a live wire and received 7,620 volts of electricity throughout his body.
Is he any smarter now?
He went...
Is that how he went?
That was a reenactment.
That's how he went. Yeah.
Sounded like that. They said he was breathing but unresponsive and was taken to the hospital. He's not a very good parkour person.
Do we know his prognosis?
No word yet on his condition.
Wow.
He was zapped. He was zapped good.
Yeah, the Scott Baio. Remember Scott Baio's movie Zapped? And he can make girls' boobs pop out of their sweaters.
I'm afraid I didn't see that one. I want to see it now.
Yeah, maybe you got to see Zapped.
You're afraid you didn't see it. I'm afraid that Danny did.
Well, yeah, and the funny thing is, it was like a year ago, so I don't know what else.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
When we come back with music news, a new duet is out by Elvis Presley and his daughter. We have got the audio. We'll talk about the big Pearl Jam show last night. The Seahawks back in action tonight. And in sports, you can win Mariners tickets next. Seattle came alive last night as Pearl Jam rocked Safeco Field for its first home show concert. And the mission, of course, was bigger than music. They performed for the first time in 5 years here back home in Seattle. And so far, $11 million was raised for local organizations.
Nice.
So a cool story I heard from the show last night.
Yeah?
They started out with 4 just like monster hits. And then Eddie Vedder says, good evening, everybody. We're Pearl Jam from Seattle, Washington. People came from all over the place to see him. I think they know who you are.
That's cool. You know what?
That's hilarious.
I have not seen too much of Eddie Vedder or the whole band, what they do, how they interact. I hear their songs and seen some videos and stuff like that. Apparently, he's quite the guy.
Yeah.
That he's not just a cutie patootie. He's also a decent guy that can crack a good joke. I'm kind of aroused.
Yeah, I think we all are.
They are so good live, and everybody who I've read on Facebook just said this show last night was phenomenal. But amazing that the band so far has raised $11 million. Local organizations are Mary's Place, Real Change, the YMCA, and they're not done yet. The next show is Friday, tomorrow, 7:30. Of course, it is sold out.
You know, I always try and figure out what these rock stars generate, what they're paid for arena concerts. And, I come up with a bunch of weird stats. In some, the whole band is paid $1 gazillion, and that's what they get. In other ones, most of the band gets way less than the big star in the front of the band. Yeah. But I think Pearl Jam just splits it up decently. Mm-hmm. $22 million from a show? How are they doing that? Where is there an extra $22 million?
I'm not understanding the question.
Well, where did the $22 million, is that the figure that the show earned?
I don't know what $22 million is.
Oh, maybe I didn't hear you right. I'm sorry. I thought you said $12 million.
$11 million.
I'm sorry, I heard wrong. My apologies.
For charities, but that included like the brown sugar bourbon that Heritage Distilling did. Like it was all the money they raised.
So it's not just the show. That was my question.
Merchandise that they sold and then donated money to the charities. Yep. The beers that they did. Yeah.
Good on you guys.
A dilapidated van used by rock legends Aerosmith has been found during the filming of the show American Pickers. Is that one of the ones you watched, Danny?
No, but I know it. I've seen it. I know who they are. Tall guy, short guy, fat guy, bald guy.
Yeah.
That's the cast.
I'm at least 2 of those.
At least 2. Yeah.
Hosts Frank Fritz and Mike Wolf stumbled upon the 1964 American Harvester Metro van on a recent episode of the History Channel reality show. The van's authenticity was confirmed, and they're trying to figure out a little bit of where the heck has this van been. It was a rusty vehicle at this point, found behind a farm in Chesterfield, Massachusetts.
Do you know what that's called?
What?
They're called barn finds, like barn where you keep your animals. And they just mean a thing that's been open to the elements forever is usually a barn find, as I understand it. So there's going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, I mean, it was like in this overgrown, like it wasn't even, sometimes you'll find it literally it's in a barn. This was just on somebody's property, and it on the side it's had all this artwork just like vans used to back in the 70s.
Like wizards and unicorns and lightning bolts? Man, not that I had one.
One of the guys who was in the band back in the 70s said this was like a rolling hotel. This is what we used. We'd drive from Boston to New Hampshire where we would get paid $125. After gas, tolls, food, and back, we'd make about $3 a piece.
Nice. But that's rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
They paid their dues and now they're all gazillionaires.
Except for this guy who's no longer in the band.
Right, that's sad.
I think he's probably regretting that decision.
If it was his decision, but I would ride everything all the way to the end. You know what I mean? I would get every dollar out of the band before I quit. I can't stand another day with you, Steven. But, all right, one more.
Late rock and roll pioneer Ritchie Valens will be honored on August 25th when a stretch of the 5 freeway that runs through his hometown of Pacoima, California, will be named after him. Ritchie Valens Memorial Highway will be inaugurated at a ceremony held during a day-long festival held at Ritchie Valens Park. There will be the unveiling of the highway sign, a screening of the 87 Valens biopic La Bamba. There'll be musical performances. Of course, he died in a plane crash, very sadly, along with the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly, and is now going to be honored in California.
Well, that's kind of neat. Pacoima is nowhere. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
you go to nowhere, turn left, and go about 50, and then you'll get to Pacoima. But yeah, that's all kind of neat.
I mean, it was a pretty great movie, a pretty great story. The fact that he was only 17 years old when he found success with La Bamba and then the song Donna. But he was super young, died in 1959 with, some rock
I think
legends.
Bopper was the oldest guy on that plane, but they were all pretty young.
Yep. Elvis Presley is doing a duet with his daughter. I will make it sound like he's doing it by choice. Lisa Marie Presley has opted to do a duet with her late father, Elvis. It's a revamped version of Where No One Stands Alone. So she has a new gospel album coming out, it's his rather. It's a compilation of posthumous gospel songs. So songs that he did, and they're kind of being reimagined. Would you like to hear a little bit of Elvis and his daughter, Lisa Marie?
Love to.
New stuff from Elvis.
Yeah, hit it.
Yeah, all right. It's a little novelty. If you want a good one, go to Natalie Cole and her father, Nat King Cole, from After the Grave. Spectacular. This, I don't know.
It's gospel, so you kind of have to like this sort of thing, but she's got a deep voice, a much deeper
And I'm a
voice. Her
big fan of-
harmonies are good.
Big fan of gospel. Weird thing, the only Grammy Elvis ever won was gospel.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and according to the liner notes, Lisa Marie Presley said that was his passion, that if he had one genre, one type of music that he really loved and enjoyed to play, it was gospel. So that probably meant the most to him.
Yeah, I guess so. It's weird, and I don't think it's the greatest. But
Yeah, you'd hope it would be better.
yeah, to be honest. And why can't the offspring of Elvis have a boy?
Yeah.
I don't mean to be sexist here, but somebody's supposed to be named Elvis Presley Jr.
Yeah.
I guess a chick could do that. Do that, fine. Somebody needs to be named Elvis Presley Jr. and sing really well and be awful pretty.
Well, I know Lisa Marie Presley has a daughter named Riley Keough who's gorgeous,
Right.
who's a pretty successful actress.
I've seen her.
And I think she's got other kids. I wonder if one of them's a boy. I don't think she named it Elvis.
Well, I mean, as long as your last name's Presley, certain doors are going to open.
Yeah.
But if you're a boy, keep your hair jet black, watch your weight, call people ma'am. I think it'd be awesome.
Don't eat peanut butter,
Don't eat
banana,
peanut
and bacon
butter.
sandwiches. Kris Jenner, the mother of all the Kardashians
Yeah.
and a couple of Jenners. She is called a momager, and she went on to the Late Late Show with James Corden and had some questions for the late night host, including why Corden hadn't done his hit Carpool Karaoke segment with Kanye West, and Corden was only too happy to answer with this.
We've tried. He's cancelled twice, maybe even 3 times. He cancelled once as I was turning the corner to his house. And by the time the call finished, I was sat outside his house and they were like,
Wow.
he's not in the zone for it right now. He did send me a lovely gift.
What did he send you?
He sent me a pair of Yeezys. And people were
That's
like,
nice.
people were like, whoa, they're so expensive. And I was like, yeah, they cost my show $45,000.
Nice.
Our Iheartradio Music Festival is back September 21st and 22nd at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Performances by so many amazing artists, including Fleetwood Mac, Lynyrd Skynyrd. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. You know, there's so many bands, Danny, that you want to see.
Timberlake, Jack White. Jack White, come on.
Yeah.
Well, we want to send you to Vegas to see the show. And by you, I don't mean you, Danny. You guys listening. You're listening for a keyword. You text it to 200-200 for your chance to win a trip for 2. Get all the info at KZOK.com. Your next chance to text and win, 8:10 this morning. To mark the 20th anniversary of the publication of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the book that introduced the world to Harry Potter, well, the Cinemark theater chain is re-releasing all of the Harry Potter films across the country. This will happen August 31st through September 6th. And if you want to see it again, or if you perhaps have kids who have never seen Harry Potter, it's your chance to see it on the big screen.
I say that I have seen them all because I just, I want to see what they are, and then I zone out, and it turns out they're really good and they're worth watching.
Yeah.
Yet I went to watch them again recently, and there kept being parts I haven't seen. So I don't think I gave it my full attention. Yeah.
Maybe you fell asleep?
Very possibly.
Well, you'll have a chance at the end of this month to go back to theaters.
I don't see you going back to theaters. I was going to say I'll come with you. I've never seen even a minute of any of them.
Oh, you haven't? They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
I don't think we'll be doing that.
I bet Jellybean would like them. They're really good.
We started with the books a couple of years ago, and they were a little dark for her, and we stopped. So I think we'll start back up maybe sometime soon, maybe.
Yeah. Mickey Mouse is getting the full star treatment as the iconic character turns 90 this year. ABC has announced Mickey's 90th Spectacular, a 2-hour primetime special that will air on November 4th.
He looks good for 90.
He's holding up. He's got to hit puberty eventually and get rid of that voice.
You'd think so.
The program will feature tributes and never-before-seen short films from the Disney company's archives. He made his film debut as Steamboat Willie back in 1928.
My goodness gracious.
Hard to believe.
1 year later, the Depression. Thanks, Mickey. Thanks, Obama.
Like we've rested that for a while. I think that was the perfect time to bring it back. That was really funny.
I feel really good about my choices with that right there. Do you know Walt Disney won more Academy Awards than anybody in the whole wide world?
Walt Disney did?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but like 20 of them, like crazy. The next guy is like 4.
Next guy's Meryl Streep?
Is the next guy Meryl Streep?
Probably.
Yeah.
No, next guy's going to be a designer girl.
Oh.
What's her face?
Her,
keep it specific.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports
brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY, 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Tonight, the Seahawks back in action.
Yeah.
Preseason game number 1, Colts at Seahawks. Kickoff is at 7.
Kickoff.
Derek, what big names will we see? What big names won't we see?
You're going to see a lot of new faces. The starters will play for a little while, and 15 of the starters are people who have not started at their positions before.
Wow.
And as far as big names, 2 of the guys you're not going to see is Doug Baldwin and Ed Dixon. They are both out with injuries.
All right.
Now, this kind of snuck up on me. Is this a real live football game?
Preseason.
No, preseason. It's practice.
So it's essentially the Pro Bowl. Like, don't try your hardest because somebody could get hurt.
I mean, no, there's going to be guys out there trying their hardest because they don't think they're going to make the team. They're trying to prove themselves and make the team, and so they're putting out their effort. So a one step up from the Pro Bowl, but
all
not.
right, that's good enough.
Yeah.
I'll watch the Pro Bowl. I'm a fan.
And we'll see Andrew Luck playing quarterback for the first time in like 2 years.
Welcome back, Andrew Luck. He's a good dude. I know we're playing him, and we don't want him to win, but he's a good dude, and he's been hurt, and it'd be nice to see him back in action.
Not very lucky.
No.
No.
Back to baseball, or on to baseball, rather. Yesterday, the Mariners, well, they attempted to come back. They were losing. Then all of a sudden, they got a little closer. Just not close enough. 11-7 loss to Texas. They're about to turn it around. Playing that other team from Texas. Mariners on the road facing the Houston Astros. 5:10 start time on Root Sports. If you want to win tickets to an upcoming home game, get ready to call us right now. We're playing an in-studio version of Mariners KZOK Music Trivia. Play the clip for this game, Derek.
This is a story about Billy Joe and Bobby Sue. 2 young lovers with
nothing better to do.
All right, we need to know the title, the artist, and the year it came out. Call us right now, 800-252-1025. First person to correctly tell us that information wins tickets to an upcoming game. So first pitch today, 5:10, Root Sports pitching duel. James Paxton, Justin Verlander. There's a crazy, cute, kind of creepy video that you can see up right now at KZOK.com. It shows the Braves and the Nationals game. The Nationals pitcher, Eric Fed, he was, the national anthem's playing. And so what do you do when the national anthem plays? You stand?
Stand up, put your hand over your heart.
Right. So that's where he's got his hand. He looks down at his arm because he feels something kind of tickle him. The arm that's got his hand over his heart. And what's crawling up his arm? a praying mantis.
Oh.
And a big one, too. Like,
Huge.
probably the biggest one I've ever seen.
It is probably 4 inches, 5 inches long.
Well, maybe 6.
That's what he tells his friends anyway.
So
That's why it's praying.
He stands there with his hand over his heart and he's watching it, and it crawls up his arm, and it's the national anthem. He wants to have full respect, so he's not moving. He's not shaking it off.
There's other guys around noticing too, and like they're all fighting to like not laugh at it and continue to be respectful.
So he's kind of getting a little freaked out because he's wondering like how far up is it going to go? Is it going to like crawl on my face? And finally, the national anthem ends. It leaps off, disappears, and then he won the game.
Well, it's a disrespectful communist bug. Does
everybody know that those things fly? I had no idea that they fly.
Did they fly?
It jumped and then flew away into the air.
Because I know that they can go for like distances the size of this room, but I didn't know they could just fly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't see after it went off screen, out of frame.
My favorite thing that they do is after they have sex, the girl eats the boy's head and kills him. And that's always a good time, I think.
Another bit of odd football news. The Arizona Cardinals, they know that everything's bigger in Texas, but they're kind of tired of hearing that, so they've decided to make something super big themselves. If you were to attend a game in Arizona, football game, they have something brand new, a 5-pound burger. So you can get this like big booty of food.
Is that what they're calling it?
After you eat it, it's certainly the big booty. Yeah, I saw it. I thought it was 7 pounds.
It's a $75 hamburger that includes 5+ pounds of ground beef, 5 all-beef hot dogs, 5 bratwurst, 8 slices of bacon, 20 slices of American cheese, 8 chicken tenders, and 12 ounces of French fries. And that's just to name a few.
I am constipated just thinking about this thing.
Pretty strange, right? Is all of that like on top of the bun and stuff?
Inside 2 buns. I saw it twice.
I don't think we can order that.
Well, see, here's the thing. If you have 7 buddies, now you've just got a pound.
Yeah, but it's not enough French fries, though. There's so many entrees and not enough sides. I think that's a problem.
Well, the problem is you're supposed to eat it by yourself in one sitting in under an hour.
Don't do that. But if you're trying to share, like 7 brats, no problem. We can share 7 brats.
Then why not just get 7 burgers and not have goo and chopped up?
It's a novelty.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
$75 too seems like an awful lot of money to pay for a burger. Although I'd probably rather have that one than the ones that have like gold flake and truffle and a bunch of stuff that you don't really need on your burger. The Seattle Storm and the Washington Mystics will be playing, in just about an hour and a half, 8:30 start time.
Jeez.
Early in the morning. They're on the East Coast.
Right.
You just pointed for everybody who's listening out there. They're over that way.
And you pointed to the West Coast.
Yes,
so you're wrong. And you're wrong.
Isn't that my pointing west?
Yeah, you're pointing west now.
That just gets
east.
better.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea where I am. Is this KZOK? Hey, want to remind you guys about the Danny Bonaduce birthday broadcast.
Yeah.
Danny, tell everybody what to do.
Well, it's a Danny Bonaduce birthday broadcast. That's what I'll tell you. It is, let's see, at Chandler's Crab House. We're going to have it tomorrow morning. Starts at like 5:30. Get on it whenever you want to. Now, are people still RSVPing?
People are. KZOK.com/Danny's birthday is the place to RSVP. Today's the last day, so make sure you let us know if you're coming so we can make sure we have enough pastries and coffee for everybody.
Everything, or almost everything, is free. Everything you're going to want as a normal person is free. Then there is going to be a bar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to stop being like, the truffle mac and cheese kind of guy and break into some booze at 6 o'clock in the morning, let you know what I'm thinking about. 6 o'clock in the morning, you feel free, ladies and gentlemen.
No ticket needed. Absolutely free of charge. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Congratulations to Emily in Olympia. She knew Mariners KZOK in studio music trivia. Derek, play the song again. The year is what stymies most people.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what year it came out?
No.
I don't know, no.
Thanks for answering. 1976, Steve Miller Band, Take the Money and Run. Emily in Olympia knew the answer. She's going to the Jeep Winners window in our lobby to pick up tickets to what, Derek?
She won tickets for the game on Friday, August 17th at 7:10 p.m. versus the LA Dodgers, which just happens to be Sing-Along Fireworks Night.
Sing-Along Fireworks Night.
Don't miss the 4th of 5 fireworks nights at Safeco Field featuring some of your favorite tunes to sing along to. The Mariners have partnered with Pyro Spectaculars, the same company who produces the New Year's Eve at the Space Needle extravaganza for this big event. Visit mariners.com/fireworks for more information.
All right, your next chance to win will be tomorrow morning, right around this same time. And sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUIOA.
Tease the game, please.
You know, I've been getting more questions about this thing, Hangar Fest, than I have about almost anything else. Well, it's Hangar Fest. It's going on. It's happening at the Museum of Flight, and you are going to be amazed. And you can win tickets 7:20 this morning by playing Hanger or Banger.
Well, we were discussing a kind of an interesting story in entertainment about Stephen King's son, who believes that he has solved a decades-old murder mystery called The Lady in the Dunes.
It's a great name for a murder mystery.
Well, this poor woman back in the early 70s was murdered in Massachusetts, and she was found in the dunes on a beach. They have no idea who she is. Stephen King's son went to see the movie Jaws in theaters and saw who he believes is the murder victim.
You know, that movie came out in the 70s, I think. Is that when he saw the movie?
No, it was back in theaters. You know, how you go to one of those movie
Retro
theaters that
things,
shows older ones. And it's a classic summer movie. So he decided to go see it on the big screen. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's the Lady in the Dunes. So he thinks he has solved this mystery. And if he's right, that's pretty cool.
Oh, it'd be super cool. I just think he's a tad premature. She's on the movie screen. If you don't know her name, it's not solved.
But it's the first step. So now he's got investigators looking, and they are pursuing this angle to try to finally solve this cold case. Because, you know, the cops, they never stop looking. They never stop trying to solve these cold cases, which is amazing.
I like the guys that don't show up for a traffic ticket in 1977 and in 2011 somebody arrests them in Guam. Like they're crazy with that, so they don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, the guys who finally brought down Whitey Bulger were so happy that they finally were able to do that. It had been going on for forever. 50 years or something. But imagine if you could be the guy. So Danny, say you could be the guy who was like, yeah, I've solved the mystery of D.B. Cooper.
Yeah.
And that everybody around the world would be like, oh my God, Danny solved the mystery of D.B. Cooper.
Right.
Wouldn't you love that?
Not D.B. Cooper.
No?
I don't care about D.B. Cooper.
Really?
Yeah, plus I think it's been solved. They know who it is. It's a guy who worked at Boeing. I think they know exactly who it is. And I'll tell you what mystery I want to solve.
What?
Do you guys, any of you know the Black Dahlia?
Yeah?
Yeah. I'll solve the Black Dahlia case. It's been 60 years or something like that.
And you'd be like, it was Steve.
Yeah, it probably was Steve.
Well, now Sarah solved it.
This is an actress, wannabe actress running around trying hard in the 1940s, maybe.
I think so.
And somebody cut her in half, legs over here, body over here, and left her in a park with a real weird note. And you think you leave a note and you're that screwed up, you cut people in half, you're going to make a mistake, we'll catch it. It's been 60 years now, nobody caught him.
Yeah.
It was a magician. He was practicing.
A bad magician.
It was all just a trick gone wrong. Well, you guys listening, if you could be the person responsible for solving something, what would it be? Danny's going with the Dahlia murders. I gave him D.B. Cooper and he threw it back.
Threw it back.
What would you like to be responsible for solving?
So Stephen King's kid thinks he solved a decades-old murder. He hopes he has it. It'd be kind of cool. Now, if you could be the person responsible for solving something, what would it be? 1-800-252-1025 or text 90627.
We're going to start with Hannah in Gig Harbor.
Hey, Hannah.
Good morning.
Morning.
I would love to solve the active serial murder case for the serial cat killer in Thurston County.
Yeah, you're
yes,
right.
Please.
Because he's not only a serial cat murderer, and that's the step before killing a person. That's what they say. But also, it's gory. He's not
Yes.
poisoning him. He's horrible, horrible deaths for these little kitty manitties that I love dearly.
There's something so disturbing about what this individual is doing that I really hope Hannah can solve this crime.
Right.
Because they
Aha!
have not yet.
Look at the nearest and most suspicious violin string maker, and it's that guy.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, that's genius. I think you're right.
Thank you. I'm totally right.
If you could be the person responsible for solving something, what would it be? 800-252-1025. Let's go to Kent in historic Kent.
Kent, you were throwing me. I said, what's wrong? What's different? That's because your name is Kent and you live in Kent. And now I got it. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I would love to find out who really shot JFK.
So you just flat out don't believe Lee Harvey Oswald? Do you think Lee Harvey Oswald was at least a shooter?
No, he was definitely a shooter. I think he was set up. I mean, I have every book on the subject. I've been fascinated with this since I was a teenager. And, if you watch the Zapruder film, there's no possible way that he was shot from behind. I mean, he was shot from the right side and a little bit in front. It's physics.
Well,
and,
here's the theory that you've got from watching the Zapruder film is that it's a standard scenario for people to believe what you believe, and that is he's shot from at least 3 angles. That Oswald does get him, and then a different guy shoots the mayor or the governor who's ever sitting in the front seat. He also gets shot. There's a lot of angles on this, so yeah, please feel free.
Let's have Kent have his little fantasy here. Kent goes to a library in Texas where he opens a book and inside is a film reel and it shows another angle as somebody was filming that day and bam, it shows the truth and Kent is a hero because he solves the crime.
That's certainly what Kent wants.
I think that we all won, really. I'm relying on Kent and Kent.
If you could be the person responsible for solving something,
Thanks,
what
buddy.
would it be? Rob in Louisville.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, guys. I don't think this mystery will ever get solved, but I'd like to be the guy that figured out what happened to Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, I'm interested in that one because I want to believe what my government tells me about JFK, although there are wonderful other theories about that, but nobody knows what happened to Jimmy Hoffa.
So here's Rob in Louisville. He's got his metal detector, and he's in New York. And
Is Jimmy Hoffa made out of metal?
No, so he's got his metal detector, and he's like beep, 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 and he starts digging, and he finds a hand with a ring on it, and then he uncovers it, and bam, there's Jimmy Hoffa, and he was buried out in New Jersey.
Are you on NyQuil?
Well, what's wrong with that theory?
No, that's a wonderful theory. Found
They
a
thought
metal
he was
detector.
buried at Giant Stadium.
Yeah, they did. Somebody actually said, and I loved this, in a speech, somebody brought up Jimmy Hoffa, and he said, Jimmy Hoffa was the cornerstone of this community. And the meeting broke up, and everyone, he's in a cornerstone. He's buried in this building. Yeah.
Oh, funny. And then they dig it up, and there's nothing there. What is the thing you'd like to be responsible for solving? That's the question at 800-252-1025. Hi, Joe in Tacoma.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, good morning.
What's up?
An acquaintance of mine from high school disappeared in San Francisco in 1997. Her name's Kristen Montefiore. She's still considered missing and an at-risk adult. I would like to be able to find out what happened to her and bring her family some closure.
Well, you don't sound too optimistic, though.
Yeah.
Nowhere
It's a
in there
long
was,
time.
I'd like to find her, ask her what happened, bring her back home. You're not hoping. You don't seem to be, expecting that. You seem to be expecting the worst. And by the way, as much as I love you, Joe, that's probably smart. Don't get yourself a bunch of hopes up. This has been a long time. But you're a good friend to hold her in your heart this long. I got a little more upbeat mystery I would like to solve. The friggin' Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solve that thing right now.
Have you ever solved one? I mean,
legitimately fair?
Yeah,
No.
I mean, even just going through steps, I learned a couple of tricks that if you write those tricks down, I can't memorize them, but if you write those tricks down, I can figure it out. But never could you just hand me a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, no. I've smashed more than one trying to put it back together. The one I solved best was on an airplane, and I just pulled up. There were stickers. But
that's
colors,
brilliant.
It's not bad. I just pulled them all off and put them back on.
Lori in Renton, if you could be the person responsible for solving something, what would it be?
The Zodiac Killer.
Great one.
Yeah.
Absolutely great one. How much do you know about the Zodiac Killer?
Well, it kind of became a fascination a couple years ago to me. I lost a friend to the Green River Killer.
Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And I had just found out about it. It was like a 30-year-old mystery. After he got caught, we found out when he turned up more, Ridgway turned up more people. And I called my birth mom. I was adopted. I called my birth mom, and I was telling her about it and, you know, the whole story from beginning to end. And she said, oh, your story sounds like my story. And I said, what's your story? And she had a friend. She was at a 4th of July barbecue with her friend, and she left. And then her friend later that night was killed by the Zodiac Killer.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
It's a terrible weekend.
Back-to-back generations, you know, by 2 notorious serial killers, and Ridgway's caught, but I'm, like, really fascinated.
I don't think they're ever going to catch the Zodiac Killer. I think they knew exactly who he was, and I believe he died of pancreatic cancer, even though they knew totally who it was. I don't think they're ever going to prove it. And I get all that from one miniseries called The Zodiac.
Well, I'm giving everybody the dream scenario, like to make Lori, like, she's the one who finds the Zodiac Killer. I don't really have a backstory to have Lori.
Well, she doesn't get a metal detector?
No, there's no metal detector for this. Oh, I know. So she's doing a palm reading, and she's telling somebody's fortune. She's like, what sign are you? And he's like, I'm Sagittarius. She's like, you're the Zodiac Killer.
All right. Lori's going to have to learn how to do some palm reading.
Yeah.
Bonnie Lake texted in. He wants to solve the mystery of the Malaysian Airlines disappearance.
Oh, yeah, please.
That is a great one.
Yeah.
Carrie wants to solve the John Benet Ramsey case.
Yep.
And our friend Andrew in Kent, he wants to solve the mystery of the Sphinx. There's only one entrance that's ever been found, and it goes to nowhere. Why was it built? Who built it? What's inside, if there is anything inside? And then Mike and Bonnie Lake would just like to solve how to take a bong hit without coughing his lungs out.
Line the bong, the neck of the bong, if it's over 3 inches long, line that with Vaseline before your next hit.
Does that work?
No, I think it's funny as hell if you'll do it, though.
Bill and DuPont, if you could be responsible for solving something, what would it be?
Well, I feel kind of stupid now after all these serious mysteries being solved. I'd like to find out who put all those dead animals in Tori's freezer and why they died like that.
Yeah, I'm with Bill. I think he's exactly right. Yeah, very nice.
I don't think Tori's that kind of person, but...
No.
Oh, thanks, Bill.
You're wrong about that, Bill.
Yeah, you're wrong, dude. We work with her. She murders them right in front of us. It's weird.
Jeremiah in Seattle, what would you like to be responsible for solving?
No, I had a good one. I'm going to change my tune here. All the disappearances of the Bermuda Triangle.
Ooh,
Yeah,
they think they've solved it.
Not a big believer here,
No?
to be honest with you. No. I mean, I believe that things crashed and a whole air squadron went down. I just don't think it's the devil's work. I think
Coincidence?
A coincidence, some weird magnetic field as you fly over that area, but no, I don't think it's the hand of the devil reaching up and grabbing them.
And it's really pared down recently, right? That we don't hear about that so much anymore, where
No.
20 years ago was all the time.
People avoid it now.
Bermuda Triangle. I like to go to the hexagram of Bonaduce. There's a little control.
I'd like to solve the mystery of who's buried in Grant's tomb.
Is it not Grant? It is Grant, right?
Paul, what
Are
would you
all
like to
right?
solve?
I want to solve the mystery of what the hell happened to Sarah the last 15 minutes.
15?
Well, just more so the last 15. A personal mystery within my own family. So the story goes, my great uncles, my mom's uncles, Uncle Dub and Uncle Junior were bank robbers, but they also had regular jobs. Like one of them was a painter, and one of them worked in a warehouse. They robbed several banks, but they never spent bought flashy things.
Oh.
Then they never threw the money around, and they continued to work their normal jobs. And so the family mystery is that money was buried somewhere in the hills, somewhere outside a little town called Paradise, California.
Shh, don't say that.
I want to find the mystery of where Uncle Dub and
Why
Uncle Junior's
there,
money
not
is.
in the backyard?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess because they thought there's a chance they get caught and somebody's going to dig up and find their money.
All right, I want to solve the mystery of Trump's hair. I know that everybody can say, but really,
Why does
I
he do
think
that?
it's his hair.
Yeah.
So therefore, how does it defy gravity like that? And it's just crazy. That's Black Dahlia. Start with number
There
one,
you go.
death and murder, and followed up Trump's hair.
Tori, if you could be the person responsible for solving something, what would it be?
So 25% of our universe is made up of dark matter and 70% is made up of dark energy. And I want to figure out what that is because it's constantly expanding.
I'm
and
the dark energy, and I'm constantly expanding.
Oh, okay. That's better than my answer. I was going to say it's a bunch of ghosts tooting in another dimension.
It's
like that.
ghost farts. That's what I'm hearing. All right.
So apparently Tori has lost the plot alongside with me.
Yep.
Look at the time. We need to get ready to play Hanger or Banger.
Hanger or Banger.
You can win a pair of tickets to Hanger Fest August 25th at the Museum of Flight. Food trucks, drinks, live music, outdoor lawn games, and of course the incredible aircraft in the towering Aviation Pavilion. If you want to play and win the tickets, call right now, 800-252-1025. Fest August 25th at the Museum of Flight. Here's how it works. To win, you will have to name the famous aircraft storage facility, the Hangar, or the head-banging musician, the Banger, from Danny's Clue. Make sense? Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Larry is our contestant.
Good
Larry
morning.
Seatac.
Hey, how are you, Larry?
I'm fine, thank you. How about you folks?
We're well, thank you. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I do.
And do you understand the rules of the game?
I'm not terribly sure. I'd appreciate it if you would repeat them, please.
All right, you answer, and I give you stuff or I don't. That's kind of it. How do you want to, Paul, you're the producer.
Yeah, so the clue that Danny's going to read is either going to be about a hangar, which is an aircraft storage facility.
Yeah, because that screams rock and roll right there.
Or a banger, a head-banging musician. It'll be one of those two.
That screams aviation.
All right, thank you.
And then you name one of those
One
two.
of those. Here we go, man. It's not that hard. Just pay attention. This hangar or banger is a 75,000 square foot dome in Long Beach, California, that now is used to house the cruise terminal for Carnival Cruises, but its original purpose was to house Howard Hughes' flying boat, the H-4 Hercules, which is why the dome shares the rhyming nickname with that famous wooden plane. Is it a hangar or banger?
Let me see. A hangar.
It is a hangar,
yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah.
You don't have to name...
He really does, but that's not what you asked him to do.
All right, cool. Then you win, man.
Yeah, he won.
Yeah, there you go. It's a hangar.
It is the Spruce Goose Dome, which is indeed a hangar. Congratulations, Larry and SeaTac. You've won a pair of tickets to Hangar Fest on August 25th at the Museum of Flight. You're going to the Jeep Winners window in our lobby to pick up your prize. Congrats. The rest of you, details and tickets online at museumofflight.org. We'll play again tomorrow at 7:20, and next is the big news of the day.
Well, here we go. It is, in fact, the big news of the day, and it's brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE or go online to goldbergjones.com.
In Nevada, Nye County lawmakers have revoked Assembly candidate Dennis Hoff's license at the Love Ranch.
They're hassling the Hoff?
Yeah. This is the brothel kingpin who failed to apply for renewal and failed to pay his fees on time.
Well, that's on him then.
Not the first time he's done that, but this is the first time they have permanently yanked a brothel's license.
This is the first. Wait, this is the first time they've yanked a brothel's license, not a Dennis Hoff brothel.
Permanently pulled this license. Yeah.
Wow. Was it the Mustang Dude Ranch? I thought got
The
in
Bunny
big
Ranch,
trouble.
Moonlight Bunny
Not that's Dennis.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's weird because I don't care for him. He really is a pimp in every sense of the word, but he's a buttoned up pimp. He's on time, you know, I's dotted, T's crossed kind of guy. So I'm surprised with it. Plus, his live-in girlfriend is Heidi Fleiss. She also knows how to keep a business going.
You'd think, right? And he's got several. So what happened?
And what was he running for?
He is running for assembly candidate. And he calls himself the Trump of Pahrump, which is the city where he is based. And
he's also bald. You can't be the Trump of anything with no hair.
He has said things like, if he wins this Republican-leading district, he'll set up his own office in a luxury motor coach in front of the Capitol building in Carson City. He'll offer free alcohol and free shoulder massages for anyone who wants to have a meeting with him.
Well, that sounds nice. I mean, I don't know why it's necessary for government to run.
You're going to go down to the assembly, meet with him, and a hooker is going to rub you over, and you're going to say to your wife, well, no, county business holiday, I swear to God.
Yeah.
I don't think that would fly in my house.
The scion of a family who made a fortune in chewing gum is changing his
name, appearance, height, nationality,
gender.
Oh, that was a better one.
Well, William Wrigley Jr. II. He is a big part of Wrigley, as in the chewing gum and the empire that is Wrigley.
To be honest with you, I didn't know if there were any Wrigley still involved.
Yeah.
Because I've had the pleasure of staying at least 2 of his homes throughout the country. Sometimes they're open to the public, and sometimes if you can pull some strings, which I at least did in Catalina Island. I stayed in the Wrigley Mansion on Catalina Island once.
Wow.
Pretty boss.
He is 54 years old. He has now decided to leave the gum and candy business behind. Back in 2008, he helped orchestrate the sale of his family business to Mars and is a pretty successful investment banker himself.
So he's not in the gum business.
They sold. But that's what his family has been doing for over 100 years. And it's not like he wants to try something else in that genre. He has decided to go into medical marijuana.
That's a great idea. It's a great idea. I don't know why it's such a good idea for the Wrigley dude, but if I went into a pot store and I saw a bunch of different labels and one of them was Wrigley, and it said maybe especially on the chewables, like the cannabis gum, and I said Wrigley, pop this in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much, he was involved with the family business, but if he has experience in, massive retail, then this could be really good for him.
Well, he said he learned a lot about the benefits of using marijuana medically, and several states still do not have legal marijuana. They are just now getting medical marijuana legalized.
So are there, I think I asked something along these lines, are there any Wrigleys involved with the Wrigley Gum Company anymore?
They sold to Mars. The entire family.
Okay, so there's nobody involved.
They sold. So Wrigley as a gum company does not exist anymore. Mars bought Wrigley. So you can buy Wrigley gum, but it doesn't go to the Wrigley family. It's owned by Mars. He's a billionaire. His great-grandfather founded Wrigley back in 1891 and said he will not invest in the, yet at least, in the recreational part of weed, just medical. How does a lifetime of chicken McNuggets sound?
Really good.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
How about free egg McMuffins?
Yeah, awesome.
Yep.
For the foreseeable future for life.
Terrific.
Or for life. For free.
What about the McRib?
Well, when they're available, Danny, you could get that
No,
if...
the question, they're not available still, Paul.
So we're still getting ripped off.
Yeah, we're still getting
here.
ripped off.
Yeah.
But you would have to become the winner of the free food for life from McDonald's contest.
With the chicken nugget, winner, chicken dinner. That's what they should call it.
How do we do it?
You have to get their mobile app and order food through the app. And between August 10th, which is tomorrow, and August 24th, when you make this purchase, you're going to get entered. They said that this person who has a cell phone app, right? You're going to look at your cell phone, and the bottom of your phone, it says, it's real, and you're going to get this big McGold card, so like a credit card, and you go into McDonald's, you get free food for life.
Wow. Because the people who work behind the counter aren't confused enough at McDonald's that I got to order stuff and then give them a golden credit card and tell them it's a real thing. Their heads will explode.
Yeah, this is a contest which you can enter using the app. I mean, it sounds pretty fantastic. McDonald's is a screaming good deal already, but free food for life? Who'd say no?
I could do McNuggets every other day probably.
There you go. Congratulations to Bill Clinton. He is now a million-selling novelist.
Really?
The President is Missing, the thriller co-written by Bill Clinton and James Patterson, has sold 1 million copies.
It's not been out that long either, right?
No. It's a runaway hit.
June 4th is when it came out. It's a combo of hardcover, ebooks, audio sales, but in North America alone, it has sold 1 million copies since coming out on the 4th. It's his first work of fiction.
Not if you believe the testimony. There's a fair amount of fiction involved in what that guy wrote. Like the words not and then guilty.
Is he going to do an audiobook and voice it himself, or at least somebody with a good impression? Because I would listen to Bill Clinton, read Bill Clinton's book. That'd be cool.
I listen to a lot of books, and I got to tell you, a reader, a narrator that you enjoy makes all the difference in the world.
I don't know who narrated his book. I know his voice isn't that strong, as in...
Right, he doesn't look great.
No.
Well, he's 100.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
I don't think so.
He's 80-something, 85? Or did we define...
Is he in his 80s?
He's not in his 80s?
I don't think so.
I'm more than willing to believe you. Well, then he looks bad.
But his voice is kind of sounds like mine.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Bill Clinton...
71 years old.
Wow, that's weird.
71 years old. He is one of the rare authors to have 1 million books sold in fiction and nonfiction. Pretty impressive.
Oh, that is.
Yeah, usually you're one or the other.
Right.
On to the Academy Awards. The 2018 Oscars, the Academy Awards, were the least watched in history. So the Academy is like, uh-oh, Becky, what do we do? We need to do something to change this up. So they made an announcement yesterday that they are going to be changing from 4 hours to 3 hours.
Yeah.
Part of the way to combat that, they're going to give some of the minor awards away during commercial breaks.
Yeah.
The ones to kids? Or the ones to people who dig holes in the ground?
No, makeup and...
Oh, set design, costume.
And they have also decided to introduce a new category, which will be most popular film. And that is got people kind of upset.
Is that ticket sales?
Well, what does that mean? That's
don't know.
exactly it. They're saying a new category is being designed around achievement in popular film. So what does that mean? Who's deeming something popular?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
That was popular.
Yeah.
So stuff that are a big blockbuster hit, but isn't that great of a movie.
It has to do something else but be big,
Yeah.
I think. Otherwise, if it's a ticket sales thing, I'd kind of like that. The ticket sale things, although you don't get to go in the envelope, please, because there's no secret anymore. We know who won.
True.
And the award that they won already was a ton of money.
Right.
Or is it say, all right, for this year, for the past few months, the biggest movies, most popular movies, Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mission Impossible, what are those going to get an Academy Award for? Maybe those biggest ones will all go into the envelope and then one of those will be the winner. So it has to be like the top 5 or something, most popular.
Well, they have to figure out the category first before I know who wins.
Yeah, they haven't disclosed exactly what it is, but so people are kind of upset. Like, you're giving away awards for the best movies. Now you're not? Like, what is this award for? This seems pretty stupid. That's the big news of the day, which is brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE, or online at goldbergjones.com.
All righty, and stay right where you are. There's more coming up at Sarah's Filthy Forecast.
Sarah, with your filthy forecast. The sun comes out today. Ooh, the heat is on. Pressed right up against you. So nice and firm. Is that 87 degrees in your pocket? Or are you just happy to see me? What's it looking like tomorrow for the bodacious Bonaduce birthday bazongas?
I think it's called the Bonaduce birthday bash, actually.
I've heard it both ways. We're about to get it always. So much sun nailing us tomorrow. Perfect weather to get a birthday spanking.
Yeah.
82 for the high, and it goes down on us this weekend. Join us tomorrow at Chandler's. I'll describe it in detail for you. With the best weather front in Seattle, I'm Sarah.
Well, I got to tell you, that was totally doing it for me. And then Paul said, I think it's called the birthday bash, and completely wrecked it for me. That was, in fact, Sarah's Filthy Forecast. And I'll tell you this, tomorrow, right around the same time, even though we'll be broadcasting live from Chandler's Crab House, there's more, my friends. If you know where Sarah's Beaver's been, tomorrow morning, you need to be right here because you're going to win a 4-pack of tickets to see the Tacoma Rainiers. Well, in case you haven't heard, that's kind of cool right there. We're having a big birthday broadcast tomorrow morning. We're celebrating me getting older even as we speak. It's happening at Chandler's Crab House, South Lake Union. Please come on out. Free to attend. There's going to be giveaways, free pastries, coffee from Schwartz Brothers Bakery, and so much more. Please just RSVP. That's KZOK.com/Danny's birthday.
And you guys can come for part of it, for all of it. It's 5:30 to 9:30. So just come by and say hello before work, after work, or hang out for the whole time.
Come by for part of it because no one can take all of it. That's my slogan.
We've been talking about the Brady Bunch house for a couple of weeks now, how it was on the market. And then Lance Bass of NSYNC wanted to buy it. And then HGTV outbid him, and they announced that they're going to be restoring it to its full 1970s glory.
Owners of that house, or the ex-owners now, the happiest people in the world. I mean, they probably picked it up because they've owned it for 40 years or something crazy, right? 40 grand, maybe 50 grand. And now it's 2 million, 3 million.
Quite the investment.
Well, they're restoring it to its full 70s glory, is their quote. But what we'll talk about with the Brady Bunch is the lack of bathrooms.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a master bath, right, for Doug and, not Doug, what's his face, Mike and Carol.
Yeah, or Doug.
Then Alice probably has one.
Mike didn't know about Doug.
Alice may have one, but we don't know. And then the kids have a Jack and Jill for all 3 boys and all 3 girls.
Which is crazy.
Well, it gets crazier. Have you looked at it online and stuff?
I have.
Look around some more and try and find me a toilet. There's no toilet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's no toilet in that bathroom. They show a sink and a this and a that. And I thought that was done with, like, I Love Lucy days, that you wouldn't show a toilet or say the word pregnant and things like that.
Oh.
But no, there is no toilet in that Brady Bunch bathroom.
Well, when they restore it, something tells me if someone's actually going to live there, they'll put a toilet in there. But, you think about the different sets of TV shows, like suspending disbelief, right? We know that was an actual set inside of a Hollywood studio. But if you look at the Brady Bunch house, I personally wouldn't want to live there because of those weird bathrooms.
Right.
But,
Well, you wouldn't have to live there with all the kids, right?
Oh, heck no.
And Alice and everybody.
I'm not exactly sure. What do we have to live there?
Well, say you were
Can't
going
we
to
just
live
sell it?
there. No,
Oh.
like right now, today, you have to go move to that Brady Bunch house.
Yeah.
Looking like that. Live there, would you?
No.
Just
I
270s, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it. You know where I would live, though, and this is going to sound that I have play favorites, but if you're going to have the Brady Bunch house, I want the Partridge Family house, and my room has a toilet. I've seen it. I may have tried to use it once, which they told me not to do it. No, right there in the middle of the bedroom. No, in the bathroom wing of that small house. But see, our house, the outside was a shell. And you only was to shoot from the street, and you'd have us come out the front door and say some lines.
Okay.
And then if it was time to go inside, we all got in golf carts and drove about a mile up the street, and that was the inside of our house was on a soundstage. Because in most of Los Angeles, you can't be outside too much. Planes, which I didn't know because I learned at 10.
But would you really want to live in if it was not on 2 different lots or whatever?
You know what I almost said? I almost said as long as they pay me that much. And I forgot. Oh, they didn't pay me that much. I can't believe I make more money than Danny Partridge did, but I do. No, I'll stay right here. But no, I don't want to. I don't want to live in it because you're right. It's the outside is about 1,000 yards away from the inside. That's too weird even for me. I don't even want to do a walk.
Right, but I'm saying suspending disbelief. So when you watch The Partridge Family, nobody knew that. So the house on The Partridge Family is what it is. It's what you see on television. So would you want to live in that house if you, right today, were going to move into that building?
Not certainly more than any other house, but yeah, it was like on a park. I had great neighbors. If you come out my front door and look to the right, that's the Bewitched house. Yeah. And if then you look to the left, that's the Leave It to Beaver house.
Oh, that sounds like an awesome
Oh, and there's a bunch of them. It goes on forever. Dennis the Menace right next to that.
I'm surprised that you wouldn't have picked Fraser Crane's apartment.
Oh, it never even occurred to me. Never even occurred to me. That would be great.
Because then you'd be here in Seattle. So like right now, you'd be going home to some posh
But we're suspending
penthouse.
disbelief because that house was not even close to being in Seattle, the interior of that house.
Right.
The shot out the window was, which is one of the reasons I moved up there.
Yeah, but that's what I said. For the game, I mean, it's television. We're suspending disbelief. You'd have to move into the set of a TV show.
All right, I got it.
Best or worst, what would it be? What do you guys think? Call us 800-252-1025 or text your answer into 90627 if you were going to live on the set of a TV show.
HGTV is restoring the Brady Bunch house to its full 1970s glory. If you had to live in a set from a TV show, what would be the best and the worst? 1-800-252-1025 or text 90627.
Good morning to Mike in Sultan.
Hey, Mike.
Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Sticky Sexy Yamaduchi.
What up?
Hey, I want to live at 1313 Mockingbird Lane in the Munsters house with Grandpa's basement where we did all his experiments on the dragon underneath the stairs and all the good stuff they had there.
What, do you have the Munsters like on a loop or something like that?
He was watching the box set as we speak.
It's funny. I wrote down when we were going to talk about this, I started writing them down, and I wrote down the Addams Family, and I'm wrong. Mike has it right. That's a way cooler house. And they have cool cars, too. The Munsters cars, they make Hot Wheels and stuff. They're bad.
So, yeah, the house will come with cars. The cars will be there as well. Just changing the rules to the game. Bill in DuPont.
I didn't know there were rules to the game.
If you're going to live on the set of a TV show, what do you think would be the best or the worst?
Sarah, how you doing? I'm so sorry to hear your voice so bad.
Oh, thank you, Bill.
Think about
Breaking
us,
my
man.
heart. Yeah.
I'm on the mend, Bill. Thank you.
She is.
Yeah. Okay, so I'd like to live at the set of NCIS. Why? Because I could have anything that I wanted. I could find out who did what to whom. I could, get on the computer. I mean, those kids, you ever see those guys work the computer keys?
Yeah, but you're living in a morgue.
Yeah. There's nothing but dead bodies
in the basement.
We're all going to end up there eventually.
There's a morgue in the basement of what?
I mean, I'm already
NCIS.
there.
They're in a house?
No, it's a building.
It's like a lab, a crime lab.
Yeah.
Plus, he's with
With
my
dead
cabin.
people.
Yeah, dead people.
Yeah, a lot of dead people.
I'm not sure about
I mean,
that.
I see dead people legitimately. They're right there.
I got it. He's got a big freezer in the basement with dead bodies. He thinks he can get Tori to come over. That's probably it.
If you were going to live on the set of a TV show, what do you think would be the best or the worst? You can let us know by calling 800-252-1025. Let's talk to Bridget in Edmonds.
Hey, Bridget.
Oops, I think we've got Idaho Joe here instead. That's okay. Hi.
Hi, Idaho Joe.
How you doing?
We're all good. What do you got?
I'm the Adams Family.
Say it again.
Adams Family.
Adams Family? Yeah. Not bad at all with
What's the difference between those
Morticia.
houses?
It's what's really hidden in the houses. I think the Adams Family that I'm going for, don't they have the thing that runs around and plays piano? It's just a hand and it plays piano all by itself. Yeah. And somebody has cousin it, and it's nothing but
That's
a
the
hairball.
Adams Family
That's the
as
Adams
well.
Family. Yeah, no, I was right to pick mine.
And they
Very
have Lurch, the
Lurch
butler
was
that's
awesome.
10 feet tall.
Idaho Joe and I are like this. We're so close.
Let's see if we can talk with Bridget in Edmonds.
Hey, Bridget, how the hell are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you guys?
Very well. What do you got?
Well, I would love to live in the Bonanza house.
Yeah,
with
you
visions
would.
Of Michael Landon.
So you just, not the rest of the family, just Michael Landon?
No, I like the rest of them, but Michael Landon was pretty
He's
hot.
so cool. Little Joe, by far, best character, followed by Ben, followed by Hoss. But here's the thing, Bridget, if you move to that, if you get that in this thing, their land alone is bigger than the state of Arizona.
Where
the
is it?
Ponderosa, it's in between. It's not anywhere. It's like between a bunch of different states, Nevada, Arizona, and something else.
Okay, I like that house.
Yeah, but it comes with enough land that's bigger than Arizona.
Love
not
that.
bad.
I like this game.
Three-day ride across their land on horseback.
Ralph in Auburn, what would be the best or the worst TV set to live on?
Magnum PI.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
great answer.
Very nice. I get a handsome mustache, a cheap Ferrari, and a mansion on the beach in Hawaii. Not bad.
Yep, I'll take all of that. Good answer, Ralph. What do you think, Robert, calling from Kirkland?
I think the worst one would have to be that movie. I think it's called Caveman with Ringo Starr and Catherine Bach.
Yeah.
Where they're all living in that cave together and just doing their business and the corners and everything. That would have to be the worst.
Okay.
That sounds terrible.
Well, I will tell you this, that Robert's theory is completely 100% correct except for one thing.
What?
Caves don't really have corners. what kind of cave are you going there in, Robert? Put a beetle in it all day long. It was still
I've never
horrifying.
even heard of it.
Oh, caveman, it was terrible.
If you were going to live on the set of a TV show, best or worst would be what, James in Bothell?
Good morning, all.
Morning.
Yeah, got to have Robbie the Robot, Forbidden Planet.
Sure.
Yeah, you can make booze, you can make everything.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It is so weird that you said that it can make booze. I guess this would be either back in my drinking days or I get to drinking, and I'm not sure which. I was thinking about this with if we ever, I think we discussed something like this, and if we're ever stuck on an island, who would I take?
Yeah.
And my answer was the guy who knows how to distill. Everybody else comes after that guy.
Lori in Port Orchard, TV set, you were going to live on one. Best or worst would be what?
I Dream of Jeannie. I wanted to live in her bottle.
Yeah. Not a bad bottle. Yep.
When I was a kid, I remember when we got our first color television and I could see the colors inside her bottle and how excited I was about that.
You know, and I'll just always throw out this piece of information or trivia. You know what you couldn't see? would be her belly button.
That's funny.
They had that outfit designed so it would not show her navel. That was a big thing to the networks back then.
Oh, how things have changed.
Yeah.
James
show
and
my
Everett,
keister.
best or worst TV set to live on?
Beverly Hills, Beverly Hillbillies mansion.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty cool mansion.
That is a great mansion. It's about 25,000 square feet. It's up at the top of Bel Air. It's a pretty crazy place.
Your car's a little unreliable, thoe.
Yeah. If that, you only get that car, yeah.
What about Red and Puyallup? What do you think?
Hey, I'm going to have to go with 2.5 Men set there. Sheen's Malibu Beach House with its Mercedes.
Yeah, quite the view.
Yeah, but do you have to have Sheen in it?
No.
you have to have somebody come in and do a pretty thorough cleaning.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Good answer, Red. Thanks for the call. Good morning to Brian and Fife.
Well, I've got one that I know you guys have never heard of.
All right.
But it's in Alberta, Canada, and the views are beautiful. It's called Heartland.
Well, I know Alberta's beautiful, but I'm not familiar with that show.
Is it a small island shaped like a heart?
No, and there's 12 seasons of it. It's a great show, especially if you love horses.
A Canadian show or American,
Yeah,
Brian?
who cares? It's about a Canadian show.
It's Canadian, yes.
Yeah. How many ways can I drink a beer in Hunt a Moose?
We got some great ones coming in on the text line at 90627. Nancy in Gig Harbor says she wants Monica's apartment from Friends.
I was waiting for someone to say that.
Cute and quirky, the coffee shop down below.
Yep.
The Silver Spoons house. Somebody says the Silver Spoons house. You remember that?
Yeah, kid Ricky Schroeder used to ride in on a train.
Yeah, they want to ride that train all the way around the house.
High on cocaine? Guy was 10, Paul.
And how about the stately Wayne Manor from the Batman TV show?
I don't know, too much creepy monster stuff going on in my basement.
You don't want the Batcave?
No, I don't want the Batcave.
They have a pretty cool car down there, though.
No. You ever seen it in real life? It's crap. It's thrown together with like crazy glue.
Paul, what's the TV set you would like to live on, or what do you think would be the worst?
Newhart, I think, would be the best. I want to take the family, move to Vermont, run a 200-year-old inn. I think it'd be fun.
That's so funny. I thought you meant a different show entirely.
Oh,
Because
yeah?
Newhart, the show Newhart before that one,
and the Bob
he was a
Newhart
psychiatrist in Chicago.
Right,
And he
yeah.
had a kind of cool apartment, not as cool as that one.
Tori, if you were going to live on the set of a TV show, what would you pick?
Full House. They lived in one of the famous painted ladies, and also John Stamos is there. So, yeah.
Good
Yeah.
answer,
Good answer.
Tori. Love it. Thanks for all your calls and texts. The news is coming at you next. A 23-year-old man has been arrested for allegedly opening fire from a house in Spanaway at a car, hitting 2 of the 3 occupants inside. This began about 7 o'clock in the morning. A 911 call came in that 2 victims had been shot while traveling in a car. After being struck by the bullet, the victim, this Dodge Avenger, crashed into some bushes. Deputies found 2 men and a woman lying on the ground near the car when they arrived. The driver had a gunshot to the head. The other man had a grazing wound to his head, and the woman was injured. Now, they found the perpetrator, and they said, put your hands up. Turns out the suspect had fired through the windows of the car. They took positions around the house, tried to get the man in the house to come out. Eventually, one of them did. A 23-year-old suspect was booked into the Pierce County Jail for 3 counts of first-degree assault.
How many are there?
There were other people inside the house, an older woman and 2 younger men. But there were 3 people in the car that were injured.
Jeez. I meant in the house, yeah. That's
3 people in
craziness,
the
man.
house. Yeah. One man is dead, and a suspected DUI driver is under arrest after a hit-and-run crash overnight in Bremerton. This unfolded about 2 a.m. on National Avenue between Burwell and 1st Street near the West Sound Technical Center. Police say the driver was believed to have been speeding and under the influence, struck and killed a 26-year-old man. The driver in his 20s took off after the crash. Police were able to track him down and arrest him a short time later. Also making some news, people have been talking about this very odd story about a young woman named Jordan, 16 years old, and she was standing on a pedestrian bridge, which is above the Lewis River, and it's 60 feet up in the air. So some people like to go up there and jump off. You've probably jumped off bridges before, right, Danny?
I have indeed. I jumped off Todd Bridges. It was weird.
He's not quite that tall.
He was just laying there passed out. What are you going to do with the guy?
60 feet above Lewis's River. She was preparing to jump and was hesitant. And then somebody's filming and said, she's like, I don't want to go. Somebody pushed her off.
Yeah, it's a bunch of kids. I saw the video. There's a bunch of kids, maybe 10 or 12 kids, all standing around, and it's kind of her turn to jump, and they're encouraging her to do it.
So she's not committing suicide.
No. They're kids jumping into the water, but it's an area where, if you don't hit the exact right spot, you could be in trouble. And jumping into water, there's rocks underneath.
All right, so back to you in the studio. What the hell happened?
So, as I said, somebody's filming this on YouTube. It's a bunch of kids. They're wearing their bathing suits. It's a hot summer day, but she says, no, I won't go. Somebody pushed her. She has been in the hospital now for 2 days. She has 5 broken ribs, a punctured lung, air bubbles in her chest. Someone had to swim out to save her from drowning. And at first they weren't sure who had done this. And they're like, well, this is all on video. Was one of her friends.
You know what? In a way, kind of nobody did it. She's sitting there, she's going to jump in, a kid pushes her, one of her friends pushes her. That's, you're being an idiot teenager, but you're not a malicious, it's not attempted murder, it's stupid 16.
Yeah, I think I've done it a half dozen times where it's, hey, I did it, dude, it's your turn to jump.
Yep.
And you give them a little shove.
Yeah, well, they said don't.
Yeah, no, I agree, don't do it. As an adult, you can look back and say, well, don't do that.
You shouldn't be jumping from this bridge at all. Being pushed was even worse because, as Paul pointed out, you need to be very strategic where you land. Otherwise, you could wind up in the hospital like this poor kid.
Like this kid, yeah.
A wildfire in central Washington has swelled to nearly 50% in size. Firefighters are continuing to battle this blaze that is 0% contained, and it's going to be very hot again today, not helping wildfires that continue to rage in this state and, of course, some of those in California.
All over the place. Between here and San Diego, there's 17 major fires going where there's loss of structure and even loss of life.
Yeah, you wonder what is wrong with some people. Like, most of the time, these are accidental lightning strikes, or one of the big ones in Northern California was a flat tire that then turned into flames. One of the ones in San Diego this morning, they realized is intentionally set by a man angry at his neighbors. And it's one of the worst wildfires in Southern California this morning.
Jeez.
I hope his neighbor learned his lesson, though.
Oh, Paul.
No.
Well, you got Vanderpool.
I'm glad Scott Vanderpool finds you amusing.
Vanderpool finds you hysterical.
I didn't tell anybody they should start a fire.
We got a 16-year-old in the hospital. You must have some riffing for that.
No, I said don't jump. But also, I didn't say he should set a fire, but the neighbor should feel bad, right?
The fact that you're explaining this means something went awry.
They do feel bad. They're homeless.
For you guys.
A lot of people now talking.
Yes, for us guys, Paul. Something went awry for us guys.
A lot of people this morning talking about a woman named Lauren Elizabeth Cutshaw. She was seen speeding through a stop sign going 60 miles an hour, but had a good reason as to why officers should not arrest her.
Yeah, what was it?
I'm a very clean, thoroughbred white girl, is what she told police.
Right.
So they said, blow into this.
I'll bet they did.
0.18.
I mean, if she's going to be a thoroughbred, she has to blow in this to even consider the charges against her.
32 years old, blew a 0.18. And they said, you're slurring your words, your eyes are bloodshot, you appear to be pretty intoxicated. She said, well, you can't put me in jail. I was a cheerleader, a dancer. I'm a sorority girl. I graduated from a high-accredited university.
Oh, you're out of your mind, lady. They're going to love you in jail.
I'm a white, clean girl.
Yeah.
You're a cop. You should know based on the people in this room. My partner is a cop. And they said, well, you appear to be intoxicated. Were you drinking? And she said, I had 2 glasses of wine.
Yeah, that's what they all had.
How full were those wine glasses? Well, I mean, I was celebrating my birthday.
Oh.
One of the other cops found some weed in her car, and she said, well, I might have smoked that earlier tonight. But you can't arrest me. I'm a very clean, thoroughbred white girl.
I don't know what the cleanliness level has to do with it. I know what she's going to. She's a bit of a racist. and she doesn't want to go to jail with black people and Hispanic people, Mexican people, and all sorts of other people. So I'm a 100% white person. Don't do it. That's that. But then you had, and I'm really clean. And that's when it gets weird. I understand, I don't like racists. I don't have any friends that are racist, but I see them on the news. What the hell? But if they threw in, and I'm really clean, I'd say that's a very odd racist.
Does she mean clean like she showered or clean like she's not on drugs?
Who knows what the hell she
no matter what.
Or clean like single, like well-bred. Lots of stuff.
Who knows? Guess what happened to her?
She's going to go to jail.
She was arrested. The Washington Post has a new study out that is analyzing major U.S. cities to determine who has the most days of nice weather. So nice weather does not include partial sun. It means you need to have temperate thermometer readings, not too high, not too low. Gentle breezes, no rain, no snow, and not too much humidity.
Where the hell is this Shangri-La?
There's a several that I think will understand.
Yakima!
No, it gets super hot in Yakima.
I love Yakima.
And snow in the winter, too.
And snows. Think about the East Coast this time of year. I mean, Danny, you've lived on the East Coast before. A day like today, Thursday, August 9th, it is humid as heck.
Yeah.
So it may only be like 85. It feels like it's 100. It's humid and gross. So looking at the top 5 cities with the nicest weather, nice days of weather, the most days of nice weather, nothing on the East Coast. Number 1, Long Beach, California.
Wow, I was just there.
210 days that are considered nice.
Not that great of a town, though. It's new, it's clean, it's nice, but it's smaller than one would think. And I was there on Grand Prix Day, so like there are all sorts of people coming from miles around. But it's nice and clean. That's what's going around today.
Days, the top U.S. cities with the most days of nice weather at number 2 was Los Angeles. They had 182. San Diego came in 3rd, 178 days of nice weather. San Jose, California, and Oakland, California, rounding out the top 5. Believe it or not, Tacoma and Olympia made the list.
Really?
At 9 and 10. 9th and 10th.
I'm very surprised to hear that.
Yeah. On the other end of the spectrum, will also surprise you. Worst, like as in the least amount of nice days, Anchorage, Alaska. Honolulu.
Well, at least Alaska, that doesn't even count, I don't think. That's a gimme right there.
Honolulu.
I'm shocked by that one.
Only had 31 days of nice weather because it rains almost every day.
Yeah.
And is humid. Brownsville, Texas, Corpus Christi, and then Wichita, Kansas.
Wow.
Places not to live if you want nice weather.
And I do. Did we come in anywhere?
We're not in the top 20.
How is Seattle and Tacoma that much different?
Yeah, it's Tacoma and Olympia that are at number 9 and 10.
But we don't.
Yeah, maybe we have a little more rain. Squim didn't make the list, which surprised me.
Yeah, come on.
Because I think you said cities, and it's like no one would even register them on the when they're making a list.
Well, they should.
Yeah.
A Florida woman has been arrested after police say she stripped naked and ran around a public park, although she claims to have good reason.
Bees.
A giant spider.
Hey, I was close. Did it come and sit down beside her?
St. Petersburg police arrested 40-year-old Danielle Teeples.
Nipples. Danielle's nipples.
Teeples.
I don't think. Can you imagine the cuffs they would have to make for that? You hold those still right there. They're like the cuffs.
2:00 in the afternoon. Stark naked. Completely naked. And a lot of people were in the park because it's got some sunshine out there. Well, people were honking at Teeples because she was just running around.
They were honking?
They're honking?
Yeah. Well, she's running around naked?
From their vehicles.
Okay.
She was rubbing her hair and then other parts of her body while screaming and running between trees saying, "There's a giant spider! There's a giant spider!"
I think maybe she's on meth.
Believe it or not, no. Well,
she's crazy.
Actually, yes.
Oh.
But that's at the bottom of the list. She was on crack, spice, and a little crystal meth.
So when I say meth and you say no, you mean because she's on an entire pharmacy aside from that?
I didn't even see the crystal meth till the very last list after crack,
because
cocaine,
otherwise
and spice.
I would believe she was a maniac and saw a spider and freaked out. Girls do that. Some guys do that. But it takes you a minute or two to get your clothes off.
Yeah.
And then the spider's gone. If you continue running around after that, then you're on meth.
Here's a woman, a 33-year-old from Champaign, Illinois, named Janae Modest. She thought she was being stealthy. On her lunch break from work, she changed outfits and decided to head to a job fair to fill out an application. She did not want to work at her current job anymore, and Bonaduce always says, don't quit a job until you have a new job.
Damn right.
So she changes her clothes during lunch, goes out to the job fair. She finishes filling out the application, goes back to work, changes her clothes, and does the rest of her shift. Well, turns out there's TVs in her job. They're watching the 4 o'clock news. There's Janae Modest on television.
Wow.
They were covering the job fair, and everybody in the workplace is watching TV, and they turn and look. They're like, looking for another job?
I guess so.
So this has been viewed almost 100,000 times on Facebook.
It's her getting busted?
It's her getting busted. And she says she's not mad. Obviously, the TV news didn't mean to do this to her. And her employers know that she was looking to find a new job now, and she's hoping to find something pretty quickly.
I'll bet she is. I bet she is.
Busted.
I've heard of that same kind of thing happening on the Kiss Cam.
Yeah.
You know, you said you're at work, you'd be working from home, whatever it is, then you're making out with some stranger at a baseball game. Always funny.
I got busted on the Kiss Cam.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are you kissing?
My husband, but he wasn't my husband. He was somebody who was a coworker, and we were pretending we weren't dating. Nobody knew we were dating.
Why the hell do people do that? It's the weirdest thing, especially when there's no company rule.
Right.
Well, it's radio. People talk about you. So we didn't want anyone to talk about us, so we pretended we weren't, and then the Kiss Cam goes over to us, and we kiss middle of Mets baseball game. Everybody on TV saw it. Everybody in the ballpark saw it. We were completely busted, and our relationship was out. But it worked out.
And then you ended up marrying the guy.
Yeah, worked out all right.
She had to at that point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people are really going to
being
talk.
pregnant in the 1950s. She could have not married him.
A Chinese inventor has shared video of his homemade flying machine, which he is calling the first flying scooter.
Are you saying flying?
Flying.
Okay.
What am I doing?
Waving your arms like a maniac.
Being a crazy person.
Yeah.
It's a scooter, and it's flying. He says it can carry a load of up to 220 pounds. Max speed is 45 miles per hour. His flying scooter has a sustained flight so far, 36 minutes.
Wow. That's the big problem, you know, because they have some flying machines right now, and their biggest problem is how long can they stay in loft.
Right.
And 8 minutes seems to be the record. You know, the old jetpack you used to see on TV before the Wild World of Sports or whatever it was, that guy could stay in loft 20 seconds, I believe.
This is pretty impressive if he can make this happen. He said it kind of looks like a quadcopter drone, but he calls it a flying scooter.
Hey.
Pretty neat. He's going to continue his test flights. The Guinness World Records has announced a great honor for Masao Matsumoto and Miyako Sonoda. They are the oldest living married couple in the world.
Oh, that's kind of neat. Can you imagine when he got used to her nagging him? Like 1950.
80th wedding anniversary they just celebrated.
That's adorable.
Their combined age is 208.
So they're 104 each or so.
108 and 100 years old. They have 5 daughters that are between 77 to 66, 13 grandchildren, 25 great-grandchildren. That's some old people.
That's some old folks.
The oldest people ever married that lived this long, 210 years old.
Combined.
They're dead, though. Yeah.
No, he was 210. She was just born. Well, still combined.
It's not your best day.
No.
On to Scotland. Scotland's famous 732-pound Dinnie stones are so heavy.
How heavy are they?
Well, most people can't lift them. I got to work on these jokes, huh?
I didn't know they were jokes.
That
I didn't even know
wasn't
those were jokes.
It's not your best day.
It's not your best day. Thank God I'm on fire.
Yesterday you yelled at me
Definitely
and
your
said when I
best
do that I have to tell a joke.
Oh, well, let's try it again. You can tell a joke.
Okay. Scotland's famous 730-pound Dinnie stones are so heavy.
Okay, hang on one second. How can we yell how heavy are they when they're 732 pounds and you just told us?
Okay, hang on. Scotland's famous Dinnie stones are so heavy.
How heavy are they?
732 pounds.
That's quite heavy.
It
is quite heavy. Nice.
Sadly, it is your best day.
Nicely done. You just have recovered.
Okay.
Well, most strong men cannot lift the Dinnie stones. Until now, a 29-year-old Australian woman became the first woman to lift one in almost 40 years. She's a nurse and does a lot of strength training, and she went over and lifted the Dinnie stones. As I said, most men can't do this. Last woman to do it was an American back in 1979.
And when you say the stone, so the 732 pounds that's spread out over one stone?
One stone.
And that lady went and lifted it?
Yes.
Wow.
It's got a little weirdo handle on it.
I one time had a Denny stone. It was a kidney stone I got from Denny's. It was the weirdest thing.
It looks like kind of like a kettlebell, but it's a natural stone. And she went over there and lifted it up and then was like, all right, I'm out.
Seems crazy to me.
Does
It
she
is.
get to be Queen of Scotland now?
She does. That's what that.
She
That's
should be Queen of
no,
Scotland.
that's where you throw your wife over your back and run a race. Isn't that it? To carry your
The
wife.
wife carrying, yeah.
The D.C. Public Library branch was briefly closed after they discovered uninvited guests inside. The Georgetown Library had to close after they found snakes.
Oh, if you just said spiders, I was going to take all my pants off and run around.
I'm so happy you didn't say spiders.
All my pants.
Is that just because the other lady from Florida got naked and ran around?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
How many pairs of pants are you currently wearing?
I'm wearing all my pants, Paul.
They had to call pest control. They're trying to figure out how the heck the snakes got into the library. But they are trying to embrace it. They have reopened the library, and a sanctuary called Reptiles Alive has decided to bring some snakes in to do a live show for the kids.
So the person who knows about the snakes, that saw the snakes, right, knows they're not poisonous.
No, well, they saw a whole bunch of snakes in the stacks. They said, everybody out, evacuate the library, and called the experts because most people wouldn't know just looking at a snake.
Yeah, I'd only know a California diamondback. That's what I would recognize for sure.
I think a rattlesnake is the only thing I would
Maybe
know
a
for
king
sure.
cobra if it sat up and did that giant
real.
crazy hood thing.
Yeah, Scott's got to take this.
Wait, that's the cobra is the hood, right?
Yeah.
All right, the rattlesnake just has a rattle at the end.
King cobra has a big hood.
I'd recognize that, I think.
And they spit.
Yeah, I'd probably run away from that one.
You want to because they can spit up to 14 feet, and that is their venom. It just won't kill you that
Oh.
way. But they, believe it or not, snake, stupid animal, doesn't know anything, can't drive a car or anything, spits
Wait,
directly.
snakes can't drive a car?
No arms. So they aim directly at your eyeballs.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, crazy little bastards.
Yeah. Well, so are we, and we need to
They
take
can't
a very,
drive and they can't hitchhike.
we need to take a very quick break and be right back with music news, entertainment, and sports. A lot going on in the world of entertainment. Another update to AC/DC being spotted up in Vancouver. Sports news, of course, but Tori will also be telling us about all the new music that is in stores, so stay tuned for that next. Seattle came alive last night as Pearl Jam rocked Safeco Field for its first of two home show concerts. The mission, of course, was bigger than just music. They were trying to band together to raise money for homelessness initiatives. So far, $11 million and counting has been raised for local organizations like Mary's Place, Real Change, and the YMCA. Of course, the next show, too, is sold out. That is tomorrow at 7:30. All people I know who have gone, I know several people who went, said it was just phenomenal.
Cool. And they're better people than I am. Eddie Vedder talks a tough game. Turns out he's the real deal.
Yeah.
If I said, hey, I am concerned about homelessness and the YMCA, and I saved up $11 million, I'd give away like $3.
Yeah, wow, we raised $3.5 million. For
I know my house looks like the addition on my house has nothing to do with the fact that the YMCA is still going under.
A lot of confusion surrounding the future of AC/DC. We have had members sadly pass. We have had members lose their hearing. We had one member of AC/DC get arrested for hiring a hitman.
My favorite AC/DC, to be honest with you.
And we heard rumors that Axl Rose was going to be with the remaining members of the band. I don't even know who's in the band at this point.
It's not AC/DC if there's not somebody named Young. Somebody named Young has got to be in it.
There is a Young, but it is a nephew of the one who just passed.
Malcolm.
Yes. And I cannot
Malcolm.
remember
Malcolm,
the Young's name now, but he's a younger Young.
He's the young. Young the younger.
Steve?
Yep.
Thank you.
Vanderpool,
Scott
where you been hiding
Vanderpool.
all this kind of talent all morning long?
Well, we are now finding out Brian Johnson and Phil Rudd have been photographed together outside of the Warehouse Studios complex in Vancouver. Now, remember, that's where we had reported Steve Young was also seen with Phil Rudd.
Yeah. Right.
So now we're finding out Brian Johnson's also there. That's making 3 members of
And they've done an
ACDC.
album there before.
Right.
3 albums there
3
before.
albums there
Right
before,
again.
yeah.
You know what I get from this for sure?
What's that?
Those guys still smoke. Who still smokes cigarettes? Because there's no reason to be outside your studio.
Right, no,
anymore,
that's what they were
but They
doing.
won't let you smoke anymore. Those days are over, Mr. Rockstar. You can shoot heroin right into your hoozits, but you cannot smoke in that studio.
I'm guessing Phil Rudd, who's given up the habits of hiring hitmen and taking meth, is now just smoking cigarettes.
Outside like a good boy.
Yeah. So that's all we know so far, but it's, Brian Johnson seemingly back together with Steve Young and Phil Rudd. That would mean potentially they are recording a new album in Vancouver. Keep you posted. Vinnie Vincent, formerly of Kiss, has announced that his first concert in more than 30 years is going to be an acoustic set in Memphis. And some people are like, okay, Memphis, how does that affect me? Well, Vinnie Vincent, if you are a super Kiss fan, has also gone so far as to file a patent with the U.S. Applications and Patent Department for Vinnie Vincent's Kiss. As in, he wants to go out on tour, he wants to market.
Was he ever in the band Kiss?
Yes.
Okay, he's the drummer, right?
Oh, gosh.
Guitar player.
Guitar player?
Thank you.
Thanks,
That's why we
Vanderpool.
have Scott Vanderpool here. He's the music expert.
That's why.
I am certainly not a Kiss aficionado.
I'm a big fan. I'm not an aficionado, but I'm a big fan.
It's tough to figure out who's who, though. They put that makeup
on, which they take off periodically.
So what do you know about Vinnie Vincent, Scotty?
He had a band called Vinnie Vincent's Invasion for a while. I think he was in a Kiss for about 10 minutes.
That's all you need to know.
And the lead guitar player is now a guy from Portland, Tommy Thayer.
Oh,
and
Tommy Thayer,
that
right on.
is all you need to know.
Well, he has filed an application because he is hoping to do some more live touring in hopes that people want to see Vinnie Vincent, who was in Kiss for 10 minutes, according to Scott.
But he'll draw a bigger crowd if he's Vinnie Vincent's Kiss. Right?
Absolutely.
I may have exaggerated. Might have been 20 minutes.
Today's Thursday.
I know what that means.
It means tomorrow's Friday. And what that means is there is new music available to you guys. In addition to new stuff coming out, there is something new from one of my personal favorites, the Allman Brothers, here to tell us all. What's the story, Tori?
All right, so not to be confused with the legendary Allman Brothers Band live at Fillmore East, which is an amazing album. This is the Allman Brothers Band live at Fillmore East 1970. So this album captures the group on their rise to fame. Bill Graham put them on a triple bill with the Grateful Dead and the band Love.
Holy smokes.
Which is an incredible band as well. Incredible psychedelic band. Scott knows.
Oh, yeah.
So this show was recorded by the Dead sound engineer and was originally only available by mail. God, sorry.
Just weirdness having its
My
own?
headphones got unplugged. Sorry about that. But
That's why she couldn't hear herself.
You can keep talking.
Well, this sounds phenomenal, Tori.
Yeah, so this is a new release, and it's going to include album artwork, liner notes, and rare photos of the performances. Some of the tracks include Statsboro Blues, Whipping Post, Mountain Jam, and In Memory of Elizabeth Reed.
Love, love, love. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, one of my top 5 favorite bands of all time, the Allman Brothers. So I'm in line to get that one. But an artist who is not one of my favorites, but people seem to absolutely love him, Frank Zappa. Tori, are you a fan or not a fan?
I wouldn't say I'm a fan, only because I haven't heard enough material to make a fair assessment.
You know what? Nor have I yet. I am not a fan.
Really? Why is that?
And I had to. I just played his records. Didn't like
Too
them.
quirky for me.
A little Frank Zappa goes a long way.
Yeah, you know.
Scott, you're clamoring at the bit here. Are you a Frank Zappa guy?
Too many notes.
Too many notes.
So you're going to throw that out to people that don't know what Frank Zappa is? That a thing from Frank Zappa?
It's just a lot of kind of that kind of stuff.
Too many notes. All right. Yeah.
All right.
Vanderpool's going to know all this stuff, apparently. That's awesome.
Well, this release is pretty cool. It's a DVD of a musical Zappa put on called 200 Motels, and it features Ringo Starr.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, people love to play with that guy.
Yeah, 200 Motels was an attempt to portray the craziness of the rock and roll lifestyle. It's a series of unconnected nonsense vignettes of concert footage with the Mothers of Invention. It features Keith Moon, Ainsley Dunbar, and the notorious groupie Pamela DeBar.
Pamela DeBar, my goodness
go.
gracious. But I'd like to go on record in advance of saying I hate it. Because what was it? What was it? Give me the 20 words, the nonsense vignettes that don't connect or some such thing?
Yeah, basically it's heavily edited with double and triple exposures, color changes, speed edits.
It keeps getting worse as
So
she
it looks
keeps
like an
going.
acid trip.
And then hate it a little more.
Yeah.
All right. I'm afraid of their apocalypse. The Zombies.
Oh, yes. So the Zombies are getting a greatest hits album released on vinyl. All the songs will be remastered in their original mono format. You'll hear hits like She's Not There, Tell Her No, Leave Me Alone, I Love You, and Time of the Season.
Cool. Didn't I just see them at the Showbox?
You did.
I did, right?
Yeah. I'm so
no
jealous.
Showbox demolition, you commie bastards.
Yeah.
I'm working on my chant. It's not great yet.
There's got to be a hashtag. Hashtag save the showbox.
Yeah.
So I checked up the lineup. It's definitely worth buying. I'm not usually big on greatest hits albums, but there's a lot off Odyssey and Oracle, which is an amazing record.
Okay.
If you guys haven't checked that out. Also, the vinyl is on yellow and gold splatter. It's really
Ooh,
cool.
Neat.
Yeah.
That
500
sounds
copies.
really cool.
Yeah.
500 copies, that's it?
That's it?
Yep. $27 a pop.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's a
deal,
bargain.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tori, I do see something coming out from a name I am not familiar with. Magpie Salute?
Yeah. So Magpie Salute
Magma.
Magma.
is a band composed
Magma.
of members from the Black Crowes.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the Black Crowes without Chris Robinson.
Gotcha.
I can't wait to go get that record.
I know,
The
right?
Black
basically-
Crowes without Chris Robinson. That just screams my name.
Do we have anything of what this sounds like?
That's this right here.
It will last like the fire of the sun.
The Black Crowes is a pretty big tragedy because the band was so good, and then Chris Robinson got into a fight with everybody else.
Yeah, it sucks.
That'll happen.
So
So
this
if
is their
it's-
second.
Is this why they're so sad?
I mean, the record actually sounds pretty good. This is his brother singing, Rich Robinson.
Did he
and he's
fight
not
him?
terrible.
Are they in Oasis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this kind of sounds like the Zombies, to be honest.
Huh.
Yeah, but I think it's worth checking out.
Yeah,
You know, the
I'm
musicianship's
interested.
still good.
So, Tori, anything else coming out tomorrow?
The rest I was going to put up at KZOK.com.
Super. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
On to entertainment news. Danny.
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid and Val Kilmer are heading back to the Wild West.
Neat.